we are live in the pre-show. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Oh my god, they're all flooding in.
Right when I started playing my show from the beginning again, too.
You know the schedule.
I know, but I thought I would have a minute, but I didn't realize it was like right at 8 o'clock.
It's
No,
time.
I think we haven't started yet. We're just kind of here.
We
I
are
know.
we are in
Yeah, if you
fact
think we're
existing.
not all doing something else in the background during stream.
What the
Look,
fuck?
I'm not about to start playing
What
heated
the
rivalry again when there's
are we
people
live?
listening.
Yes, we're
Yes.
alive. What do you mean, aw? What do you mean? What did you expect to happen here?
I can't do pre-show talk.
Oh, the after dark pre-show.
The secret
Gotta save those
Before
TOS
dark?
breaking comments, you know?
What do you mean?
Look, okay, Shep, during the pre-show, you not want to hear how many slurs Ari says.
What the
What?
No.
Shadow, that's not something we joke about.
Yeah.
Or do.
Oh my god.
Ari doesn't
Serious
want to
use
use
of slurs
more heated
only.
gamer moments.
What can I say? I win yet again.
Don't worry.
No, you.
Don't worry. Spotify won't hear any of this. Don't worry.
Also, queer is a thing I could say. Okay, Shadow.
What?
Where is the slur?
What? What is happening here? What are you guys talking about before we start streaming?
Chaos. It's
No.
chaos.
Slurs, apparently.
Jesus Christ, everybody.
scared.
Let's calm down. Can we calm down, everybody? Jesus. You guys
Okay,
like
hold on.
anime?
Go get my yogurt and then this happens.
It was
Really
Okay.
in front of my
Okay.
9 and
yogurt.
10 this week, right? So last week was 7
Yeah,
and
9,
8.
10, 9, 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of yogurt did you get?
Greek yogurt.
Oh.
What makes it Greek?
Great.
Because
Sick.
it's from
Is it-
Greece.
Is it flavored or
okay.
is it just plain and sad?
It's got honey and vanilla.
Wait, was there a whole Lobelia Girls Academy? Okay, I just shut that out of my memory because I hate the Lobelia Girls Academy.
Damn.
Why?
Hater.
What?
They're annoying.
Lobelia girls go back.
Such a
I want to
hater.
go there.
It's not their
Sorry,
fault.
I'm
It's not their fault
skimming
the
through
chapter
all
they
of
got
the
this time was
reading.
boring.
I'm quickly skimming through all of the reading that I did in one sitting yesterday to
Dude,
make sure
that's
that I
my
remember
alma
everything.
mater. You take that back.
All right. We're all here. Ads are about to end in about 40 seconds, and then we can just get started. I don't think we're waiting on anybody else. This is pretty much everybody.
Well,
Oh.
so we don't have to go over it in the introduction section and derail there. This is what came in the mail today.
Oh boy, here
Let's,
we go.
let's see
Ooh.
it. Oh, you did get the Mahjong, the Fate Mahjong set. Oh my god. So,
I literally got it. I literally waited to order it so I could get free shipping. So I had to wait a few days, and it came in all the way in from Japan after getting held up at customs before book club.
oh my god.
The one that
Now-
you have to paint
Did
over
you
the one
post it?
tile set?
Is maybe, and she's wearing a bathing suit. It's whatever.
Oh, that's so cute. I want to
need
play
to-
Mahjong now.
I need to take a better picture of the other style sets, but yeah, like
You,
this, it
y'all
was $40
don't understand.
for the Fate Extella second game, the sequel game, Link, to get the one of the limited editions of it. It was $40 for the entire thing. So
Right.
now I have the Mahjong set, the game on PS4, and the soundtrack for it, and a box for it all.
Oh, impressive.
And on eBay, I think the Mahjong sets alone were going for like 90, 100-ish, plus shipping. And all of this was fully wrapped.
Now, have
I
you
don't know what-
learned Have you learned how to play
Hell
Mahjong?
no. I don't know what none of this is. There's like little sticks that come with it. I don't know what that is.
Those are the Ricci sticks. That's the point of Ricci
What
Mahjong.
does that mean?
You're supposed to Ricci in the Ricci city. Didn't you know?
Sorry, the southern twang coming out that was
What the
really
hell's a
funny.
Ricci?
What does that mean?
Do I look like I know what a
Mom
Ricci
said
is?
I shouldn't.
Oh
My mom
That's
said
how
not to
you
do
eat.
no reaching.
Back in my day, we didn't have Ricci's.
Let me see if I can
So-
take a picture.
So next week we'll be changing
Shadow,
from the book
that
club to the
had
Mahjong
no
club.
southern accent to it.
Let's go.
Try harder.
I have one mode, it's Canadian. Sorry, Spaghetti.
Well,
Wow,
you don't get to say southern things then.
that's true. That's how that works
That's
legally.
He's from southern Canada, if that counts.
Y'all has been revoked.
Y'all has been
Yes, that
broke.
counts.
It's true.
It's at least
Yeah, if you're
more
not
than
southern, y'all is a slur.
Oh, all right.
That's
well,
crazy. Well, I'm southern,
But y'all
so
means
I can
all.
say it.
No, I'm sorry, it's a slur.
Y'all are losing your
Do you guys
minds here.
consider Arizona a y'all state?
No.
No.
I don't think Arizona is real.
The
you know-
vehemence in that.
Do you know people there that say y'all often?
Yeah, like my whole family.
It's
Okay, but that's
funny
different.
because like Texas can get away with it, but like Arizona gets no, and then California even less. Even though they're
You're
all
allowed to say
technically part of
y'all
the
if you live in a
Southwest.
state that has more cows than people.
Oh, okay.
I live across the street from cows. I can say it all I want.
I can't say it because Phoenix is like the 5th largest metro area in the United
I think
States.
it's because y'all have too
so
many people from Utah.
I
Oh,
don't. You
They
can't
ruined
say
the vibe.
that. Just because you're
I
right
can say
doesn't
it.
mean
I'm not in
you have to
Arizona.
say
They
it.
can't do anything to me.
Because half your population is from colder states right now.
Oh my god, and they don't know how to drive.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
think
they know how to
anyone
go
knows how
somewhere
to
that doesn't
drive.
have ice.
If you
I
can
had a
wear magic
car-
pants,
True.
you could drive.
I had a car from, I swear to God, a car from the 80s that was like so low, I thought that the bottom of the car was going to start scraping against the road. Cut across 2 lanes in front of me without ever turning on his blinker. So I hate it here.
Wow, fun, exciting.
How about that
Alright,
Ouran?
Who's ready to talk about
Great to
manga?
hear you come to Canada.
We're getting out of mahjong in the
I'm really
south
scared.
here. All right, we're coming up to
No more
Going up
y'alls
to-
allowed.
no more y'alls.
Hey,
Actually, I think weren't they dressed up as cowboys in one of the openings this week.
Yeah, they were.
So they get to
Yeah,
say y'all.
I was really
I
shocked
think.
by the death scene.
Yeah, it happens. Happens often.
Shootout.
All right, I'm
Shoot
gonna.
at- shoot out at Ouran Corral.
Question:
Happens.
Who died?
You, the reader.
I'm still here though, Chef.
No, you're not.
Not
Anyways, we're
anymore.
gonna get
Not
started
alone.
now. We're gonna get started. Let's get this going. Welcome everybody to another exciting episode of the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Spotify. All at the same time, we're here again to continue our discussions about Ouran High School Host Club volumes 9 and 10 this week. But before I get started, let's go over our guests that we have this week. Starting from alphabetical order as I see on Discord, we got number 1 Tamaki Apologist. Introduce yourself.
Hi, that's me. I'm number 1 Tamaki Apologist. He's my baby boy. I'm Nyan Bacon. You may hear me referred to as Nyan or Andy. I use he, they pronouns, please. No she, her. And I recommend reading Ouran. It's really good. And I'm not biased at
Definitely
all.
not biased, no.
If it's
yeah,
good,
definitely
then
not.
does it count as a bias?
I mean, yes.
Do we
Okay.
really want to get into a philosophical debate about the
We don't.
objectivity versus
We don't.
subjectivity of
Yes,
good?
we
We
do.
don't. We don't. I think we want to continue on with the intros, so.
That is all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Arimia. Introduce yourself.
I know, it's me. Hi, I'm Rubian. I like shonen shit. This week my recommendation is your local library.
Oh my
Yay!
god. Your
I
actual
assume
local
other
library.
countries besides America have libraries, because that would not be something we would invent. So you should use your local libraries. I am reading
Library.
all of Ouran from my local library. They are able to get the books for me, and I am able to read them from them. I also got posted a picture of it earlier in chat. Chat exclusive. Where I got her other series behind the scenes. So I'll be starting that at some point maybe.
Oh,
That has been on my to read list. Because it's about like a movie shoot or something. And I sometimes write about those kind of scenarios. So I wanted to see what her manga is about.
It's for research, you see.
For research. But yeah, I got all those at my local library. So you should see what your local library has. They probably has a lot of manga nowadays.
And
Unlike when
they
I was
actually
in
do,
high
yeah.
school and middle school, and they had nothing.
When I was in high school, my local libraries actually did have some manga. I read some manga called Hot Gimmick in the library once. So
They had Yu-Gi-Oh in my library.
they did have some
They
Yu-Gi-Oh.
They had very little at mine. I remember they had almost all of Fruits Basket, actually. That was like one of the few
Oh.
series they did have. But they
That's
were
impressive.
missing like 2 volumes from it, so I had to go and buy those.
I see.
And that was my first experience of like, oh no, the series I want to read is incomplete only because the place that I'm trying to consume it does not have all of it. You know, the modern, it's seasons 1 and 2 are on Tubi, and season 3 is on whatever. And anyway, go see your local library. That's it.
Yeah. Go to your local library if you're interested. And what was the other? Go check out Behind the Scenes, the other manga from the creator. Go check those out if you are interested. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Christmas Man V4. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shadow. The thing I recommend this week is keeping your marbles together.
That often helps, I think. Often.
Don't let me take
Literal
them.
marbles
I'll eat 'em.
or
I like the taste of marbles.
These
What
are
do they
not
taste
meat
like?
I think you
marbles.
need to consult a doctor if you have eaten any amount of marbles. I don't know if that's healthy.
It's not.
And I,
Aren't there like animals that like eat rocks to help with digestion or something?
Are you
Yes,
a
but not
animal that eats
humans.
rocks to help your
Naya
digestion?
is a cat. Hold on. They
It
might be on
could
something.
be.
I don't think you are, Andy. I don't know. I don't.
Andy,
does
I
salt
think you're
help with
going on the
digestion?
internet and
Because
telling
salt's a
a
rock.
lie.
Stream, we are not endorsing for anyone listening to swallow a marble. I just want that to be clear.
Unless it would be
Yeah, you
really
need to swallow
funny.
at least 3.
No.
Filming it.
No.
9 out of 10 doctors don't recommend marbles. Andy's the one
Admit
doctor that
to
does.
any bit.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Shadow. Next up, Elizabeth. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. This week, yeah, I would recommend not developing Pika. So that's everything.
Pika pika.
Okay.
Get Pika.
What were
Wa-
the Pokemon?
watch out for
Pika's where
Pikachu.
you- Yeah, you know, where you eat things like
That's where
marbles.
Pika started, actually.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Mhm.
He's
Mhm.
patient 0.
Yes.
Patient zero.
Definitely watch out for that. Watch out for that.
Mm-hmm. Don't let it happen to you.
Anything else?
That's everything.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, me, Kyoyaborg, aka Wolfborg, aka Chaplain, aka the best anime book club host ever of all time, even in the new year and beyond. That's just how that works. This week, I think I would recommend. I always think of a recommendation ahead of time, and then I completely forget it because I don't write it down. Give me one moment.
So I'm
I
playing
would
work is what you're telling me.
I would recommend oh wait, no, I already said Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme is a good movie though. What was the one I saw? Oh, I saw We Bury the Dead. That was a movie in theaters right now. A zombie movie. It was more about grief than zombies. But it was really good. I thought it was neat. Not as good as Marty Supreme though. Marty Supreme is really good. You should go see that if you haven't already. But yeah, there you go. Also, I would recommend the checking out some of the new anime seasons, which we're also going to do at some point very soon. Once I sort that all out. I am very excited specifically for playing death games to put food on the table, because I read the first volume of the light novels and I thought they were good. So, all right. Next up, Resident Anne. Introduce yourself.
Hi, that's me. I'm Anne or Marianne, whichever you prefer. I finally watched Weapons.
Oh,
That was
okay.
pretty good. Kind of a
Yeah.
mess, but the ending was really funny.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I've heard that.
yeah.
I haven't watched
Good
it
Maybe.
kind
yet.
of funny or the mocking kind of funny?
Sorry?
The good kind of funny or the mocking kind of funny?
Good kind of funny.
Yeah.
It knew what it was.
Yeah, it definitely knew what it was towards the end. I don't want to say for spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
All right. Yeah, go check out Weapons. Very good movie, I think. So, next up, Thrice Deceased. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Mike, she, they. And I guess my recommendation would be I Swear I Won't Bother You Again. I just started reading that series and it's pretty good. And also Mothman as a concept.
Just Mothman in general?
Yes, I bought new Mothman earrings and I have my giant Mothman and my medium-sized Mothman.
All
And
right.
also many, many small Mothmen. So
Hell
as a
yeah.
concept, he's
Yeah,
great.
Isn't
Mothman.
that just a Moth Boy?
I mean,
Classic cryptid.
they're just some little guys. So, but they're all Mothman to me.
All Mothmen are beautiful. All right.
Of course.
Thank you so much for that. Next up, Turndo. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Turndo, and I like to read.
That's all you need to be here. Thank you so much for that, Turndo. Next up, Twin Supremacy. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Aztec, and I like bad media. And in that vein, I'll recommend Anaconda.
I almost saw that this week, and I said, do I really want to see that in theaters?
Do you want to see a movie in which Jack Black is the most serious character? Watch Anaconda.
Is he really?
That's rough.
That
Oh,
makes
no.
me want to watch it more than any of the advertising for it has.
This is my first hearing of it, so that's a crazy tagline for me.
It's also my first time.
I thought you were talking about the Nicki Minaj video.
No, we were talking about yeah. They're trying to refilm an old film that they made about a killer anaconda or something, and they go to an island. There's a giant anaconda there that attacks them, I think, or something like that.
You ever seen like a bad sci-fi channel movie?
Yes.
All the time.
A la Sharknado.
Very often. All right. Well, go check out Anaconda, Jack Black film in theaters, if you are interested in that. Next up, Father and Friend. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm a father and a friend.
You do be that.
Don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I actually got a recommendation this week.
Okay.
So I have been playing a lot of RPGs this year. Atelier Yumiya. If you're
Yeah.
not a fan, if you haven't played the other ones, it's really good. It's really good. Solid game. Love the series. Having a lot of fun. Yeah.
I still have not played any of those games yet, but I am very excited to try
You
it one
gotta
day.
start.
I really
You gotta
do.
start playing.
Yeah. I want to start those and the Tales of series at some point.
You gotta start.
Oh, actually, I have a funny story about that.
Now.
Right now, I'm in the middle of a book club. I don't know.
Drop book club. We're gonna play.
We're playing Atelier and Tales of and Path of Exile and right now.
And
Well, I
Trails.
think there's a Tales.
And Trails.
That's
And Trails. Okay, all right, cool.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
All right, thank you so much for that. All right, it's time for us to begin the talks about Ouran High School Host Club Volumes 9. Well, technically, before we start with 9 and 10, I think a few people were not here last week that are here now, did anybody have thoughts about last week's volumes that they wanted to share real quick for volumes
Happy New
7
Year!
and 8? Happy New Year.
We didn't get the twin stuff until volume 9, right? That was the start of
the
volume
twins
9.
backstory was
Okay.
volume 9, yeah.
Volumes 7 and 8 were almost, like, honestly, frame for frame anime episodes. With the one exception of Mori's brother. In the anime, it was only Chika-chan.
Okay.
And he didn't have, like, a straight man to go with him. So Chika now having, like, that partner to act as the straight man for him was really funny. I really enjoyed that. But
not sure there are
honest,
any
like,
straight
literally
series.
copy-paste manga to anime there.
Right.
I'm not sure any of the men in this manga are straight.
No, the red-haired guy isn't, because he has his weird exile boyfriend that, like, you're right. I think the twins' dad is straight.
Allegedly. I need a source for this one, Andy. I need a 10-page essay.
He is allegedly married.
Gay men wouldn't
Allegedly.
be able to ninja the way that he does.
Oh, okay.
That's very stereotypical. Very
I
true.
know. That being said, 2006 manga? I don't know.
Your Honor, 2006 manga.
Anyway,
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to all of that being in the manga, but none of that was new for me. It was still fun to experience, but
For what to me in the manga?
Honestly, specifically, it was the mall scene with Kyoya, where he has the moment where Hatori is like, "There's no way that you could have known that was going to benefit you in any way."
Right.
I was really excited for that. But yeah, I don't like the red-haired guy. The red-haired guy is fine, I guess. I think it's really funny that Haruhi is only capable of making male friends.
What are you talking about? There's
Renge or whatever.
That's because the artist is usually only interested in keeping male characters around, I think.
Yeah. But this is gonna sound so weird, but I didn't like his arc, and that's also part of why, tangentially related, I did not like Komi Can't Communicate Part 2, because they did the exact same thing in Komi Can't Communicate Season 2 that they did with that character, was introduced a red-haired rival love interest for the main female to create unnecessary tension. But he's fine. He's chill.
He's chill.
Wait.
It's fine.
Is the main girl not Komi?
The main girl is Komi Can't Communicate.
The main girl.
They introduce another.
Okay,
girl.
well you said in Komi Can't Communicate they did this to the main character. Like, wait, what?
No, so the pair. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
There's another love interest introduced in Komi Can't Communicate with red hair. That's the issue here.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh. And that's
And it's like the same exact character archetype too. The stoic guy that's like super shy, but because he has that like stoic face, people don't get close to him, and he's actually like a really big softie. It is the exact same character. And I didn't like him in Ouran, and I don't like him in Komi, but that is neither here nor there.
Can't believe Ouran Host Club stole that from Komi Can't Communicate. That's wild. It's impressive, really.
They stole it like several years before it existed. It's impressive.
Time travel, man.
That's crazy.
Damn time travelers.
Again?
All right, what else you got?
No intellectual property with these guys.
What else you got for us?
I thought he was a cute character, but I also was not a fan of the arc, and that lasted for a decent amount of 7 and 8, I think. So I preferred this week's reading.
I think I'm gonna have to say this because I think I expressed this a little bit last week, and I'm gonna be expressing it again this week. I don't think I like how we're handling arc stories anymore with this manga. Like the new arc that we got this week was also pretty boring to me. for the overall general premise of the arc. Like, I got it. I was following it, but I was just like, I don't know.
I think we'll get into this later probably, but like my problem more is the execution of the tail end of them.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Because I just remember with the red-haired guy's arc, I was like, I get it, and I think I there was parts of it that I enjoyed, but like the overall, I was just like, this is taking too long for me to care, and we're continuing this on for like, I think that one, the red-haired guy's arc, I think was like the entire volume of the second volume or something like that.
Yeah, all of volume 8, I think.
And I was just like, I get it. We can establish a new character and like move on already, though. We don't need so much for this. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a problem with the guy himself. I felt like we spent too long on that. I don't know. Okay. What other? Anything else we really want to highlight? Did you have anything you wanted to highlight about the Kyoya Tamaki backstory stuff?
They're gay and they should kiss already, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what you're talking about, Andy.
It's because, okay, listen. Okay, if you're letting me get into it, it's one thing, right, to say, this is all speculation, by the way. It is one thing, right, to say that Kyoya was in it for the benefit. The whole character that they've been trying to build is the idea that Kyoya only does something when it benefits him, right? And then it shows through the cracks that sometimes he does do things out of like genuine empathy for others, and he just like either chooses to ignore that or doesn't let it show, right? There is no reason, absolutely zero reason, that Kyoya, if he didn't love Tamaki, should have gotten that passionate about making Tamaki happy, even if it was for his own benefit, even if there was something that he was getting out of it. There is no reason that he should have been so invested, so emotional about everything that he was doing for Tamaki and the way that Tamaki responded. Like, it was important to him. It was the first. It was like he had finally had somebody that was important to him. And there was something that I don't remember when the author mentioned it, but she mentioned in the columns that she was like, I was really hoping for everybody to kind of have like resolved their issues before getting into this. And I'm like, but it's so good to see them really working through that. Tamaki is a whole other story, but like, the idea that he like Tamaki has just gone through so much and he's able to basically act as like a healing catalyst for the rest of them. The fact that he reads them so well. I was gonna bring this up later, but the fact that he like understands Kyoya, he's able to completely understand when Mori is like asking for his help without Mori having to say anything. The fact that he understands what the twins are going through. That man, like, I don't want to say, oh, he's an empath, but he's so empathetic and he understands people on such like an innate and serious level, and it's turned into a punchline every time, except for when it's with Kyoya. When it's with Kyoya, it's like, there's not a punchline to it. It's just like raw, like affection, and it's so good. So yeah, I'm very normal about that.
That's fair enough.
You're laughing. You're being normal and you're laughing.
Anybody else have other things that they wanted to bring up about last week's volumes? Sweet. All right. With all that out of the way, we're caught up now to talk about volumes 9 and 10. So, let's see what we got here. It started with the last of the backstories. About our host club's founding, specifically about the twins, and the backstory there being that these two, as we had already kind of known, it more so directly showed and then literally said several times, they want people to tell them apart, but they also want to do nothing in order to appear independent. They wish for somebody to be able to like connect with them enough to be able to know them apart while they can still essentially be one unit without having to be independent at all. Here, I think they kind of opened it with like a girl trying to confess to one of them with like a love letter, and then the other one meets them behind the school and says, "Oh, well, he's not coming, but you know, if I'll do just the same, I could go out with you." And she's like, "Oh, well, maybe." And then the other brother comes out, and they're just like, "Huh, if you would take either of us for no reason, then you didn't really care about the other one at all." And they're laughing at her, and they'll do hijinks. I think just kind of distancing themselves from like everybody there, essentially, because they don't really care about doing anything except fucking around for their own enjoyment. And it's only really once Tamaki starts trying to annoy them into joining the club that they start to kind of question why they're doing these kind of acts, I think. Because Tamaki shows up and he's just like, "I want you to join the club," and they're like, "Well, you have to play the which one is Hikaru game. You get 1 month to try to figure it out, and you have to tell us your reason why every time." And he usually just makes a guess and says, "I intuited it," a couple times. And they're like, "You can't just wildly guess here." But the times where he was trying to give a reason, he was like, "This person's left-handed, this person's this person's this," or whatever, like some dumb reasons that were like very, they sounded like hyper specific reasons, and then they just always brush them off as, "What do you mean everybody does it like that," or something like that. There's a couple things like that. I think I like how Ouran Host Club handles backstories like in these kind of situations, where it's like it's being overall serious about what it's trying to convey with developing the characters and introducing us the idiot Tamaki to kind of help guide them towards more of their development for this. I kind of like how that's handled, but I don't know what we got out of this that we didn't really already know about the twins at this point. I feel like we basically gone through this kind of arc a few times already in a certain way. It was just more so directly saying it out loud now, I think. But maybe that's just me. How did
Yeah, I feel like we've
yeah.
approached this part of the twins from different angles, like just a slight change of the kaleidoscope looking into them. I guess you could call it that. It felt very kind of the time of writing twins as one unit and such, but I can't say much about that. But it was, I mean, I like more on the twins, but I do just still can't tell them apart.
What do you mean? There was a bonus movie the bag.
He literally explained it.
I don't remember that.
Okay, so
It's really
yes.
easy. There's always
saw
an
the
ugly
back
twin. There's always an
saw the
ugly
back-
twin.
I saw the explanation that she made, where she's like, it's like the curtains, and on the left and the right and all that. I'm like, I'm not gonna remember this.
Hikaru is the dominant one, so he speaks first. So he's on the
Okay.
right.
Is that the term we're using?
But like, I was especially once because this ties into much later in Volume 10, where apparently the mom can't even tell them apart, which is bullshit.
I was gonna say that was wild that we added that little detail.
And it's how she expresses her love. That's
I don't know how
wild.
that works.
That is not.
I was just like, there's some
like,
repressed stuff going on there. I don't know what's going on there.
Because I was reading that, and I'm like, no, that's just no, that there's no way there is, unless they were estranged. maybe. Because, like, I remember when I was in high school, there
We
were
still
a
got
pair of
time,
twins
Ari.
that we shared a class together, and I only had that class with them 1 hour, like, every day, I think, probably. And we were, like, not facing each other even. But after a couple of months, it just dawned on me one day when I was looking at both of them. I was like, oh, I can easily tell them apart now. You know, like they wear different clothes and stuff, but they have different ways of styling their hair. They have different mannerisms, you know, different things like that. And obviously, you know, real people aren't going to try to pretend to be the exact same person 24 hours a day. But it's still just like you can still tell. You can just tell who is different. Because the boys do have slightly different things about them, because that's how Haruhi tells them apart. So just the idea that their mom doesn't, and that they have like a semi-good relationship with her on the surface even, and that we've seen her twice, so she's clearly around the twins enough, is just one of the biggest bullshit things in this manga for me.
Yeah, they tried
I
to.
do think it's funny that at least part of the explanation for it is like, yeah, she only really puts any effort into the clothes she designs. She doesn't really care
Yeah.
about anything else.
That's
It's
just
Yeah,
so
that was pretty much the
close.
explanation. She was like, she's carefree about everything except fashion, so we got used to it
We
over
have to,
time.
you have to have
Like,
some
what?
kind of bullshit explanation for the bullshit thing. Like,
We didn't have to add the bullshit thing to begin with. I don't know why they did that.
We
like,
understand that we're
what
on the
she could have
back burner.
done is just simply like, oh, Hikaru, could you try this on for me? Or Kaoru, either of you will be fine. You know,
What-
just wave it off. It's like, either of you. I don't care who.
What I had thought was happening at first was I thought the mom absolutely could tell them apart the whole time and was just trying to act as if she couldn't to play along with whatever tricks that they're pulling.
Yeah.
But then that ended up not
thought it
being
was a
the
joke.
case. Yeah, I
thought
thought it
it
was
was a
going to be a
good
higher
joke.
level thing, but because when
Oh, hold on. What if they're gaslighting us? What if they're
Well,
playing
I mean,
5D chess?
again,
5D chess.
if
No,
that would have been the
that's
case,
not
they would have
happening,
shown us
but-
that by now, I think, in that one
Yeah.
chapter where that was happening. So I feel like we would have known by then, and we don't. So, I mean, I don't know.
That's not happening, but that would be very funny.
Yeah.
And much better.
Their mom just lied to him the whole time to build up their like emotional tolerance to being confused for one another. So they're just immune to it now.
Oh, Lord.
She's playing the long con.
Exactly.
Really long gone.
And so,
But yeah,
like,
back to the twins meeting Tamaki, I guess.
well, because they got development in those two chapters. They got the development in the backstory chapter, and then they got development in the later on chapter where they go visit their house, so that we could also hang out with their mom, and Ninja Dad. Apparently, the Ninja Dad
Love
just being
Ninja Dad.
not standing out as much as the twins and the mom, who are very eccentric, I guess. So he's just like, I'm here. I've been in like several of the scenes that you guys just had. I was there.
He was
Guess
drawn.
Back,
I went back and
Yes.
checked.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, wait, was he actually there? Because that would have been really funny,
No.
but no, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was drawn. He was just turned down to 1% opacity, so you guys can't see him.
Of
Wow.
course, of course.
More 5D chess.
Yeah, I don't like. I think I like the twins for how they add a lot of comedy to the scenes, and I like how they can fuel a lot of the plot in some areas just because they're bored and want to cause mischief. I like the layers of mind games and fuckery that they can do. They're very fun when it comes to that. I don't know if we're handling well the like personal development stuff with them. I feel like we're going through some messages about things, or trying to go through some messages about things, but then not because it seems like the only thing that we're trying to establish with the mom not being able to tell them apart is just making us, the reader, know how significant it is that Haruhi can tell them apart. They seem to be like the first person that can tell them apart, which is insane for all these years for that to happen. But yeah, I don't know.
I was under the impression everybody else in the club could too.
I
think Tamaki can.
I hope so. At this point,
That is not how it was
manga,
presented.
I don't think it was how it's presented, but also I think the flip side of it is when the hosts are addressing them, usually they're addressing them as a pair. So there isn't really very frequently an opportunity presented where they get the option to basically be challenged for that, because like every single time that they are alone with one of the twins, like, or have a reason to be talking to one twin and not the other, that twin has already identified themselves, i.e. Karu when they were following Hikaru on the date or whatever. I think that they probably can, but if they can, it really has not been presented much.
Because they really have not
solved
tested
the issue by never actually addressing them directly.
Yeah,
they just talk in their direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because you know, trying to think back on it, I don't think they've ever actively tried to play the Guess One is Hikaru game with the members of the host club, aside from Tamaki before joining the club, I guess. They don't, like, directly challenge them, and I don't know if that's just because the author doesn't know which characters we want to establish can tell them apart or not, or if, like, this is just something they don't feel like bothering to test out these characters with, because they don't really care if they can tell them apart, because they're just there for the host club shenanigans. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know it more so affects them when potential, like, love interests that try to reach out to them can't tell them apart. That seems to affect them, which is why we opened in the backstory with them fucking with the girl who really didn't care which one she got together with, because they were just she was trying to call them cruel for, like, doing this to her, but also that is cruel that it doesn't fucking matter which one you get with. Like, that's also kind of weird, but yeah. There's things that are being built with the twins, but I don't really feel like it's doing as much as I would kind of want it to for their thing. And also, by the way, the author had mentioned in the column that this was going to be, like, the last of the backstory, establishing the start of the host club. And then I think, like, towards the end of that chapter, it just showed, like, little tiny shots of, like, the other members, like Haruhi going to take a test to go into the academy or something, and I think Mori was there at some point, something. It just showed, like, little shots of those other characters prior to that. So we're essentially done with all the background of establishing the host club, according to the author's column comments, I guess. So, again, I feel like we can handle, like, the tone and presentation of them well, but, like, when it comes to the twin story specifically, I don't really know what much more new we got out of it personally, but that's just me. But that was the twins backstory chapter. What else did we have after that? Oh,
okay, so I will be talking more about this once we've summarized the whole thing. Or more about the twins, rather. But I wanted to emphasize the fact that when they entered the host club, they said, "We'll leave when we get bored," and they haven't left yet. I think it's so good. It was such a cute detail. That's all.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. It's nice. What was next after that?
Next was the French girl, or the not French girl. She's not French. The blonde girl.
European.
Is this the one that opened with them as cowboys, or is that? No, pirates.
Oh, no,
they opened as pirates. They were pirates,
Yeah,
and then we had a princess showing up. Yeah.
We're finding the One Piece.
Michelle or something.
Yeah, Michelle.
From
Princess Michelle.
The first princess of the Monar Kingdom, Princess Michelle, who immediately has Tamaki doing everything for her, and several. She's basically making a whole bunch of demands, which are being presented as this could you perhaps do this? I don't want to be a bother or whatever. And then, like, demands like 50 hyper specific things in a row. There's no bother at all, because they're, like, just trying to gain connections with royalty of a kingdom. Kyoya obviously is ready to use his like security team to help her out too, because he also wants to make connections with the kingdom or whatever.
Of course.
There's confusion at why the twins specifically are annoyed by her. They immediately do not like her attitude about these things, and are immediately confused at why Tamaki is so obsessed with being around her. It seemed like Tamaki was like showing her around and taking care of her like for most of the time that she was there. She was like, oh, English? I'm already good at English. Perhaps I don't need to take that class. Oh, don't worry, miss. Don't worry. I'll speak to the chairman. We'll get your curriculum changed. There'll be no issue. Like things, and I think there was concerns of whether or not it was love at first sight or something. But we find out later it's more so a connection with how she kind of looks like Tamaki's mom. And he wanted to effectively see her smile so that he could see her mom smile, I think was the main idea here. But the other issue going on was that the princess has a subplot going on where her parents passed away, and her brother inherited the kingdom, and then she ended up coming to Japan earlier than expected, by her brother basically sending her away to there, and she has a brother complex, I guess, or very much cares about the brother and wants to be there and help him, and it's
I
not.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, her parents just died a couple years ago, and that's her only close family left, from what we are told.
Sure.
And he is now running a nation. I imagine she probably sees him more on the news than in person.
Well, sure. But the thing is here is that she doesn't actually have as much money as everybody seems to think, apparently. Or something like that. I forget what the twist was.
She live modestly.
She is still from a royal kingdom, but the country's not very rich or something like that.
Yeah. That confused me because I was like, oh, so the twist is gonna be that she's not a princess, right? No, she is a princess. It's just she's kind of a poor princess. I mean, they kind of have some money, but they kind of have to live a little frugal. She can still afford to go to Japan, but they can't afford like all these maids and servants and stuff.
So, here's what confused me. She was purposely being very rude with her demands and all that. And she once it was revealed that all that was a sham about how much money she had, she was like seeming apologetic about it, and I'm just confused at, did she think if she was mean enough to these people she would get sent back to her home country?
Yes.
What was the
I believe she explicitly said that,
yes.
She wanted to get kicked out and extradited back.
I just want to know, do we think if we're too mean with asking people for demands, we just get deported? Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Is it...
To be fair,
I mean, she's a guest at a school. If she's rude enough, they might just kick her out.
Did that not happen to you?
Her
to be
rudeness
fair,
was...
she's a high schooler and she's a princess.
Sure.
The thinking,
My whole thing, I guess, is just her rudeness here is portrayed as all these people really want to get in my good graces because they think I have a lot of money, so I will keep making a lot of ridiculous demands, which they will probably try to accommodate. And I feel like we have differing levels of what counts as rude, especially if you're trying to be rude enough to get deported. I don't...
Parade at one point. Honey owns elephant for some reason. I don't know.
I mean... Everybody.
True, important plot point here.
They
set
a
also
whole
that
elephant
she was very
parade.
specifically only accommodated because of Tamaki.
Which, yeah.
Like, everybody else is ready to kick her to the curb
how much of a people pleaser she would run into.
Who Tamaki,
well, it's more like he's traumatized, but...
And Tamaki pretty much knew about her situation from the beginning and was making moves in the background to, like, fix things with her situation, I guess. Because that's what the host club does here. Didn't feel like
But
telling. Didn't feel like informing the twins about it though. Kyoya, I think, also knew from the beginning. I think that was also revealed. Kyoya pretty much always knew. But
Kyoya knows just a safe assumption. Kyoya always knows what's going on.
yeah. Typically, it's a pretty good assumption to make. He's always looking for the information so he can make good connections and make money. Okay, he's that smart about that. Okay, he was. I think his logic was just like, listen, they may not be as rich, but still, connections with royalty of any country is pretty good. So why not?
I mean, I'll take what you can get.
Well, we'll take it. Why not? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think this is another one of those chapters where when it was doing the comedy expression bits about things, I liked it, but otherwise I was just too taken out by the ridiculousness of the plot of it to really care too much. Right? I don't even know if I'd say ridiculousness. I think I would say like, I don't know how I would describe it, but it was just like, once we got the reveals about what it was just like, okay, well, so she is a princess. They're just not as rich as you would expect. Okay, well, that's not the biggest of big deals. Maybe it should be for the super rich academy, but I don't. All of the rich people in this story are now obsessed with common folk culture, so I don't really know how much it matters anymore to them.
These commoners and their fancy tools.
These guys are just often plotting or planning to go to common folk events, even when Haruhi's not going to be involved. So, like, they are into common folk culture now.
Let's remember, these rich people are so rich that one of the plot points in that chapter was that how the others find out of how she's not the princess that she claims to be is because she claims to know this duke in France, and one of the other rich students goes, wait a second, I know that Duke of France. That's how richy rich they are.
Yeah, I remember.
Is there a word for like weeb, but for common folks specifically?
I
Poraboo.
As in
Poraboo.
When was the last time France had royalty?
Was the last time what?
1800s?
When was the last time what?
When was the last time France had nobility?
Oh.
I don't know anything.
Right now, you know history.
I don't know anything about French history.
Turndo can probably answer that.
I mean, they still have knights and lords in England. I don't know about France.
Yeah, but England didn't do the whole guillotine thing.
That does speed up the process, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the guillotine, a wonderful adventure. Okay, it worked maybe too well.
Well, now we have Antoinette as a dog for Tamaki, just hanging out. We got to see the dog in one of these chapters. He was waking up early, and he was like, "Don't worry, Antoinette, I'm taking you with me today. We're gonna hang out."
Have fun today.
Yeah, I when it comes to the whole rich people, common folk stuff going on here, I think one of the funniest ridiculous chapters that we had this week, it was like a bonus meme chapter, I think, was the gang shows up to Haruhi's house. They get her to leave to go to the store to buy ingredients, and then they're like, okay, it's time for our Nathan Fielder, Nathan for you plot here. The plan is simple. We're going to replace every object in her apartment with a replica version of the item in the apartment, but it will be so insanely more expensive. The doorknob for the bathroom will be worth 10 grand. Okay, they will not be able to know that their apartment is worth that much more, but they will feel like they are living more luxuriously somehow. This was the plan that they tried to enact.
This is some insane play here.
I know that I ranted about the bullshit of the twins' mother. This is for even more bullshit. But I loved that whole bit.
It was
I
funny.
thought it was hilarious. Where it's like,
100 veteran carpenters that were somehow going to work at the same time in a modestly sized apartment.
And they were gonna set it all up in the 40 minutes she was gone. The whole
Yeah.
it was only gonna take 40 minutes.
Look, you ever seen the Amish put up a barn?
I have not, but
True.
this did not seem like an apartment that was that easy to like do all that for. I don't know.
and they had all of these pieces already like constructed by these artisans off site to have the same nicks and scratches on them. Bad shit. I loved it. Loved it.
Insane.
Complete stupidity.
And they would have
Perfect.
gotten away with it too if Haruhi's dad didn't come back home. It was like, what the hell's going on here?
They only managed to get the bathroom.
Yeah, it was only the bathroom doorknob that got replaced. Everything else got canceled for, the dads had to stop him.
Like,
And be like, what are you
Haruhi's
trying
net
to do?
worth is going for the roof.
Why'd they replace the doorknob but not like the door?
Don't.
Yeah, I
ask
like
me
that they started with the fasteners. They started with the fasteners, nothing else.
Don't worry about. They had a plan, okay?
A 40-minute plan, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you take the amount of time,
if
if you take the amount of time that it takes to construct an apartment, and you divide it by 100 artisan carpenters.
Yeah, that's how construction works.
You get the 40
obviously.
minutes somehow.
Obviously, yeah, that's how that works.
They can all bend time. It's part of the experience. That's why they don't run into each other.
Orchestra can play Beethoven Sixth and however.
So this was all connected towards the chapters revolving around the princess showing up, and then we moved on to Tamaki getting sick afterwards from this, or a little after this. It was specifically, I mean, he was actually sick with like a fever or whatever, but essentially what sparked it was more realizing feelings he has towards Haruhi over time, and being weird up to the days before he's out of school sick, reading about children and parents and how they get along, and putting, what was it? He put kept putting sugar in a teacup. He's like, yeah, I just, this just wants to be really sweet. I think it'd be really, really sweet. And what kicked it off really was him running up to Mori out of nowhere after school and saying, have you ever thought about wanting to kiss Honey? He's just like, no. And then he just shut down, and then he had a fever over that, which is a wild way to start off that chapter. I was thinking to myself before I got to this chapter, actually, I was thinking to myself, it's been a while since we've randomly had Tamaki just be called a pervert for no reason or whatever when we're having an emotional scene. And then I think here he just started calling himself a pervert for thinking about kissing Haruhi, specifically because he also weirdly still sees himself as her father at the same time. So there's...
Yeah, what kind of parent would kiss their child? What a fucking weirdo.
well, but like okay. What happens in this chapter is he's just at home sick, and the club comes to come hang out with him, but obviously Haruhi's involved with the group being there, so he's just there like, am I going to die? I've never really been sick before, but as we said before, it's pretty much just like more so a love sick kind of thing happening here. All the maids are pretty much just like, this is adorable, actually, because he doesn't know what to do with himself because he's never been sick before. And the host club is just like, he's acting weird. I'm like, yeah, you think? I don't know. It's wild. You act weird when you're sick, huh? Interesting. I think that chapter also weirdly tried to throw in Hikaru development in the middle of it or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know why that was included in the middle of that. I just remember.
It honestly just felt like she couldn't think of a better place to put it.
I guess,
Which
yeah.
twin development was this one? There
Kind
was
of.
a
like-
lot of twin development. This.
There was.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, you like her too, don't you?
Oh, was that
Oh,
this chapter?
It was also. No, wait, no, that's later. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
There is.
Because the them having to learn to share and then like fighting over the fact that they have to share, that was in volume 10. What was in this volume?
So I'm just seeing like they're walking down stairs together, and what was it? I think it was just like small offhand comments about stuff. Maybe I don't think it was like huge. I just remembered later on there was like a random thing in the middle of a chapter where one of them buys a drink related
That's,
to.
That was at the
That's
karaoke bar.
karaoke. That's what I was thinking too, but that's the
Yeah.
karaoke.
I think with the walking down the stairs, it was like how she noticed that Tamaki wouldn't mock the princess. And then I think Hikaru was like, you would notice that, and he was like, anyone would notice that, right? And then later,
okay, yeah.
yeah, and then later they were like, that's a bullshit explanation. She obviously has feelings for him.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it was more so them talking about her having feelings for him. Okay, I see. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
These
Well,
two
and they thought
volumes.
Hikaru was dumb for buying her excuse, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you saying something, Ari?
These two volumes felt like a kind of a not a speed run, but kind of a race for both groups, I guess, Tamaki and the twins, to like
Speaking of races,
get
we'll get
closer
to
to
that.
Hatori the fastest to like realize their feelings. Because
They definitely picked up the pace on the whole plot thing for the story.
Yeah, but for both of them, both groups. It felt like a kind of a tennis match between the development of the relations for both.
Right. It's feeling more and more like we're in the stages of who's gonna get with Haruhi in the end. Who's gonna end up winning or whatever.
Who wins? It's Andy. Andy wins.
That's true.
No.
That's only the yaoi route, sorry.
I just meant like
the yaoi route.
I just meant like the journey to getting there of reading it, reading the manga week by week, not necessarily the outcome of the game, but yeah.
Speaking of game, they talked about that a little bit in the columns.
They did actually. They mentioned a couple things. One of the columns they mentioned the anime finally starting, and she was very excited and happy everybody's enjoying it. And then like I think a few columns later, she was like, "Okay, the anime just ended." And I'm like, "Damn." Really are just monthly releases, I guess, you know. Because it was like what, a 24 episode anime or something like that. It was like 20ish episodes, right, for the anime.
Something like that.
High School Host Club. Yeah, it's 26 episodes. So it would have been like just 2 seasons. So yeah. And then they had also mentioned them making the game, which now we knew about from the first episode. There's a visual novel for what they say, the PS2 or something. I don't know. All I know is the author said that she bought a PS2 in order to play it. So maybe it was for the PS1.
You bought a PS2 to play your own game. Imagine.
Well, I mean, I don't think the company's gonna buy her a PS2 to play her game.
There's something funny about it.
They'll probably send her a copy of the game, but I don't know if they'll send a PS2 with it. I don't know. That's a lot. She was mentioning some other things in the side comments, I think, that I wanted to bring up, and I'm trying to remember what some of them might have been. I think I remembered one of them was in one of the afterwards. She was just going. So when I met with them about the anime, I just said, could you just make stuff up? I didn't really think some of the stuff out. I don't know how the thing's supposed to be laid out. I don't remember what references I used. They're like, if you could find those, that would be very helpful for us. And she was like, okay. So then I asked my assistant if she could please help me design the layout of things. And then it was just her saying that like the person that was helping her out basically did a whole bunch of that stuff. Because she was so busy. We're getting to the point now with the afterwards and comments where the author is expressing just how much pressure the deadlines are giving her to get some of these monthly releases done. And a part of that she blames herself for too, because, and I was starting to notice this too, I was like, are we really going to do full on extravagant welcome scenes and different costumes for all of them for like each chapter or whatever? There's one chapter they're pirates, one chapter they're cowboys, one chapter they're like some form of old cultural Japanese outfits in a different themes. And I'm just like, that's a lot to have to go through all from the beginning each time. And in one of the comments, she was like, yeah, that would be really cool to do. It would be really nice if people like it. And then she's like, nowadays, I'm just like, why the fuck did I ever establish that? Because now it takes me so long to do all of that. And I have to look up a million references for these things. And then I didn't think to keep any of them because I didn't know I would have to send them to anime staff afterwards, potentially, to help them. Things like that, which, you know, it makes sense to have these kind of things for that kind of process if you're giving it trying to help out an anime production with that. But it might not necessarily be a thing you even think about if you have no idea that your series is going to be as big as this one ends up being, where we didn't even plan out the layout of the host club music room. We didn't even know how that was going to be laid out. And then we had to go back through the volume that's been existed in order to try to establish something. So it is interesting though to hear that kind of process happen with some of that. It was interesting, I thought.
Oh, hold on. Since we're talking about the costumes, I thought I mentioned this during the Ship of Theseus chapter. That's what we're going to call it. Haruhi's like has like the same fit as Subaru from 3-0.
I did not notice that. I'll have to go back and check that.
So a track jacket?
I put it in there.
Is she wearing a track jacket? Oh, okay. I mean, I could see it. Yeah, I could see it.
I did appreciate the assistant having to like overnight bullshit some isometric floor plans for the anime production.
Yes.
That was an entertaining, side read.
That Ship of Theseus thing again. I appreciate that Haruhi only left when it was Mori saying they needed something. It's like everybody else, no, they're messing with me. Oh, Mori needs it? Oh, okay.
I got you.
Oh, the reasonable one here needs it. Oh, well, I guess I'll go.
And the reason was, can you go buy us some very expensive ingredients for this food? It's going to be like 2 train stops away. And the point was to try to earn themselves like 40 minutes to do this operation, which they spent, I think, like 2 hours eating prior to that or hanging out prior to that to set that up, I guess. So there's layers to that chapter. That it was just a bonus meme chapter too. It wasn't even like a full big chapter. It was just a bonus meme, but it was really good. Yeah, I don't really know what more to say about the sick Tamaki chapter. It was just he got sick, and it kept trying to cut to awkward developments between him and Haruhi in this, and then it cuts with
There's one thing from Tamaki being sick. Hold on. Oh, hold on.
Well, I have things to say, but
well, sure, I'm sure you do.
Everywhere.
Could you read it out loud for the class? You know, the ones they can't.
So it's you go into Mori. Like, have you ever thought about wanting to kiss Honey?
The thing that got me, that made that so funny, was the bit at the end where Mori is suffering because he has one thought about kissing Honey.
I have to tell my lord because I shouldn't lie to him.
I'm the reason he's sick.
Wait, I interpreted that as, should I lie to him and say yes?
No. Oh, was that?
No.
I don't know.
No. It says, and here's the true victim of this episode, and it points to Mori and says, should I tell Tamaki that I do think about wanting ... to kiss Honey? It's my fault he got a fever, but one shouldn't lie. my understanding with that was that he lied by saying no. I thought was the joke. I was confused. Maybe
that's what I thought the joke was too.
That's why I interpreted.
He caused this.
I thought it was like he should have said it to make Tamaki feel better, but that would have been a lie. So he told him the truth initially.
Okay, hold on.
And said no.
We gotta analyze this, okay? The Anime Book Club, we're on the job.
What's the original
Does Mori want to kiss Honey? We need to know.
All right, Andy, we're gonna make a 5-page essay on this. I'm sending links to everyone in the
Yeah,
chat.
is this yaoi acceptable, Andy?
You don't want to know my opinions about that.
No, I do. Tell me. You know, we had 10 years. You got time.
Never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke. Anyway, I thought the joke was that Mori did want to kiss Honey, and he had just been caught so off guard by the question that he lied to Tamaki and then made him sick because of it. That's what I thought the punchline was.
That was my initial assumption too. At least, but
me too.
I could be wrong though, but that was my initial assumption. And this whole situation resolved with delirious, fever-driven Tamaki getting visited by his dad, as he's like rolling around in bed saying, "Maybe I am a pervert," and then his dad, I guess, kisses him on the forehead, and then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, is that a thing okay for a father to do?" And then immediately grabs Haruhi and kisses her on the forehead. And then she then spends pretty much the bulk of the volumes this week afterwards avoiding him, mostly. To a degree that I was getting surprised with. Like, we entered summer break chapters from the perspective of Haruhi pretty much... I don't know if the implication was that she was staying home or if she was doing something else, but like you were hearing that her friend was going to hang out with the host club instead of her hanging out with the host club because she was avoiding Tamaki. And that was like all of summer break. Well, I think except towards the end, but like the bulk of summer break was her feeling awkward about Tamaki, which I thought was surprising that we presented it like, you know, all right, I'm gonna go hang out with the host club. Bye, Haruhi. Talk to you later. And then we got like updates when like she came home, or I mean, we'll get into more details about that soon. But it was, that was the way that chapter resolved, and then we kind of went into suddenly. There's another character here who was the child of from the previous spring break arc. The person who what was their name, Mizusawa or something like that, Mizusawa, whatever, the person who owned that place that they stayed out from the last summer break that one of the twins ended up going on a date with Haruhi on, that person had a daughter. So he had a daughter who does not like that her dad is a cross-dresser at all, and doesn't like... No, I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that she didn't... I mean, I think she is annoyed by that, but she more so didn't like the fact that her dad basically abandoned her at many times to pursue cross-dressing and all that kind of... I think that was more so what her arc was supposed to be about, or her establishing backstory was supposed to be about.
I have a
perfectly valid
question.
crash out.
What's the question?
Okay, so for people reading the library copy,
yes.
Does she use the slur in that one?
I don't see that at all. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I don't see a slur.
Because
Phil decided to drop something.
I thought that I sent a screenshot from the...
I use a lot of
Yeah, that's what I noticed. But I thought that I had sent a screenshot from the official translation that I was reading that had said the other one, and I was like,
no,
did they change that?
No,
or...
so I think in the past volumes they used one of those for the Haruhi's dad at some point, and I think that might have been the dad saying it too or something. I forget, but I don't think I've ever seen it since then.
Okay, gotcha. I was curious as to whether that was because
I feel like I recall it actually, but I don't.
It could have
For
happened, but
those-
if it did, it wasn't like blatant enough for me to notice it and be like, "Oh my god, why are we saying it like this here?" or whatever. I guess. I
Being a
don't know.
little less observant than usual, Chep?
Well,
I took a
don't know
screenshot
that
and sent
or
it,
not, so.
and I think I went, "Hey guys, we can't be saying that." when
Yeah.
I sent it. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, but again, I think that might have been for like the earlier volumes related to Haruhi's dad, I think.
The reason that I'm curious is for people who are listening, I went from reading a digital copy to a physical copy. So I was a little curious as to whether that was maybe something that was adjusted when it printed or when I like got the English translation, or if it was something that they just stopped using in the translation. That's the only reason I brought it up.
It's possible. It's possible. I haven't noticed it anymore, at least. So
I haven't either, yeah. So
Oh, I've been reading the local video store version. It still uses the slurs.
Okay.
The local video
Good to know.
store version, meaning the one that you could gestures in the air.
Therefore, your next word, chap, you will be murdered.
You know, the one that you could potentially read through a program like Google Chrome, one might say.
Mhm.
Okay, that's
Yep.
okay. I see. Yeah,
You
okay.
read it through.
So that's
Google.
not the
What are
reference.
you guys doing?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think because it's like a fan TL version, I'd imagine, or
No, it says Viz Media TL.
okay. When I maybe I need to
Oh,
be
wait, I know
more
what you're
clear
talking
here.
about.
When I say one that you can read through your browser, I mean you're actively reading it, not accessing it through your browser. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, I feel like we have different understandings of what I mean by this. Then we'll talk about it afterwards, but
yeah, we'll get.
We can do that then.
But yeah. So, anyways, that stuff aside, that was apparently the background stuff about her character, and because of all of that, she was staying at Haruhi's place for the summer break. In order to just get away from the parent, I guess. Who, by the way, it sounded like, if I'm understanding, let me make sure I'm remembering this right. They're still running that I don't remember what it was called. To start with the letter P for the type of home
pension?
they host. The pension.
Pension?
Pension, something like that.
I don't know.
the like
I don't know
bed and
fancy
breakfast
word.
type place that it looks like they run there. You can.
I'm assuming she runs it he runs it seasonally.
Right. And he's running it, and Tamaki is after hours helping out with it, because obviously the new character who's introduced to us, I don't remember her name though.
May, I think.
May.
MEI.
Yes. May,
Yeah.
who's got the like Yaru designs going on here, and she's obsessed with fashion. She's a part of the fashion club. And is waking up, grinding, making new outfits for the club's showing that they have coming up soon, and then also hanging out with the host club because she meets up with them at some point and immediately starts falling for Tamaki and is very vocal about falling for Tamaki. She's just like, he's kind of an idiot, but however. And so, like, she's immediately going to Haruhi, being like, "Can you help me out here? You can help me out with this, right?
Me?
Can you wingman me? What's he like? What does he like think about? What are things he doesn't like? Where does he come from?" And Haruhi's just
And
like,
Haruhi
"I don't know the
has
answer to any of these
no
things."
idea.
Yeah, because again, this is trying to reinforce the whole bit about, like, she's trying to avoid him, but also we're now realizing, Haruhi, you don't actually know much about him beyond his shenanigans in general, and then knowing a little bit about his family background. That's pretty much all she really knows about him. And so this is kind of hold on. I feel like I've skipped ahead too much. I completely forgot about at least one other chapter.
Oh boy,
And that,
Yeah, the occult girl.
Yes,
the
chapter. First of all, it opened with a welcome scene, not from the host club, but from the Black Magic Club. So we got to see that whole group instead, all dressed up, and then it focused on the girl of the group,
Hanazuki?
Guys, we forgot about the Love Egos chapter.
No, we didn't.
No.
Anyway,
So
honey.
We'll talk about the Love Egos chapter later. Okay, we'll talk about it later.
We have more important things. Okay, we have more yaoi to cover.
So here it is focused on the girl from the Black Magic Club who is immediately like, I'm placing a curse on this person. They stole my soul, and the curse is placed upon Honey, who Nekozawa goes and says, you're being cursed. I even have this eraser from her that shows once she's used it all up, your soul will be hers. And the club looks at it, it's like, it says Honey and it's got a heart on it. And they're like, and this is the mirror that she uses to see your soul too. And it says Honey with like several hearts around it. And they're just like, so this isn't a curse. This is like love charms or whatever, or like love trinkets. What is happening here? And he's like, no, it's evil. It's fucked up. And she's putting a curse on you.
Come on, don't you want the kind of woman that will actually kill you? Come on.
And he very specifically holds up a book that says love charms.
Yes. And she shows up and she's like, no, they are curses. Honey has stolen my soul. Specifically, I'm like thinking about him 90% of the day, and when I do, like my heart, like my chest feels all tight or whatever, and I'm getting all these kind of feelings or whatever. So I have to place as many curses as I can in order to win whatever's happening here, and so Honey is just kind of having this happen to him, where she's just constantly trying to hang out with him, and then doing weird attempts at cursing, like sitting next to Honey, and then being like, yeah, so the reason why I use my chopsticks here, why I have my chopsticks here and ready, is because I get to write your name on this one and my name on this one, and then I eat with the chopsticks like that. And then he runs away crying, and then like weirdnesses like that happen like for several instances.
I've written your name 99 times. If you write the 100th one, your soul will be mine.
Yes, that one was also. I thought the chapter overall was.
My epitaph, Honey.
I thought it was a nice little cute chapter. I liked the pairing, the idea of the pairing of these two. I thought it was very cute with how we had that set up. It didn't really do too much beyond the obvious, which was clearly you don't know how to express yourself to people other than curses because you're obsessed with curses, and Honey can tell that that's what's going on here, because Honey immediately notices like she doesn't really hang out with anybody except the Black Magic Club, and Honey's just like, I kind of feel bad for her, and I would like to get to know her and like actually who she is. I just need her to stop trying to curse me every 5 fucking seconds so that we can actually have a conversation. That'd be nice.
Yeah, but it's funny. Being cursed is funny.
Because, like, I mean, she sees curses as, like, a hobby that she enjoys. It's not, like, a malicious thing. She just does it to try to express herself, and she just really enjoys that stuff. As Umineko taught us, okay, boys go into sports, as we see in the later chapter, and then girls get into the occult, as we see here. Yeah, that's just... and...
So you're telling me the Ouran is a One Live Umineko reference?
Of course, yeah. So, I mean,
this
again...
is just how high school works.
Yeah, basically. Again, I thought it was a nice little cute chapter. It didn't really do too much, and it really didn't even develop Honey that much. Again, not that we didn't already know these things about Honey, I guess. But I thought it was cute. I thought it was cute. I thought it was neat. I liked it. I was fine
one
with
thing
it.
I'd like to mention from this chapter is that the twins mentioned that Class 1D has a lot of freaks in it.
Which one is Class 1D? Was that the one with the twins in it, or is that
no? Class 1D. Class 1D is the one with all of like the Yakuza kids or whatever, because it's the kids.
because the classes are sorted by the statuses of the houses, right? Or the families. Okay, so yeah, so they're lumped up with all the Yakuza, and I'm assuming the Black Magic Club is a part of that class. Is that what the implication is, or
the girl is?
Oh, okay, I see.
In that class, yeah.
Okay. I will say at first I was when I saw her character design, I was worried whether or not we were doing another Love Egoist chapter already. But that was not the case, and it ended up being cute. I thought it was neat. I liked it. I thought it was a cute little story. With some Nekozawa memery for a tiny bit.
Of course, he's the best character, don't you know?
That's neat. I think she tried to curse Bun Bun at some point, and that's when Mori was like, "You got to cut the shit out."
I won't allow you to do this.
We're not fucking around with Bun Bun, okay? And she only really liked him because at one point he dropped Bun Bun, and then she fell on Bun Bun, or fell over due to Bun Bun, and then he helped her up, and he showed kindness to her, and she became obsessed, and then that's how we got to now. Very simple setup, very straightforward chapter. You know, nothing too huge. It had some funny bits though. It had the comedy that the Hatori Bisco is used to writing. And I thought it was neat. I thought it was fine. And then I think after was there another chapter other than Love Egoist? I think it was just going into the summer break stuff immediately after that. Yeah, I think that was it. So, yeah, this is where I bring back my whole thing about how this series handles arcs. I don't know if I care for how we handle long-spanning arc writing for this manga. This series, I think, does really well when it's focused on its like monthly chapter story release, and this is the one done story, and maybe a character sticks around in the background, and maybe something develops that we re-reference later, but like overall, we're like moving on here. When we're stretching it out too long, I don't really know if we planned it out properly enough for me to care after a certain point. And this kind of happened to me again here specifically. I honestly don't know if I cared much about this arc even from the beginning though. Because I think I just didn't really care for this new character we introduced for this to like drive most of this plot. And then one of the chapters was just in my head it was just Haruhi hanging out at home. I assume she went out and did other stuff instead, but in my head she was like just staying at home, and then like we caught up with what happened with the host club when the other girl came back home. It was like, what a tiring day. I hung out with Tamaki and he wanted to do like 50 random things to experience common folk culture. What's wrong with them? And then she wanted to do the same thing again tomorrow because she's that down bad for Tamaki.
I liked the yeah, it was boring from like Haruhi's perspective, but I liked the joke of her giving May like the 5-hour energy drink beforehand and being like, "You're gonna want this," and May was like, "Why?" And then May still being exhausted when she got back. I really liked that joke. Just that bit.
That was jokes like that where it's just like, okay, we're seeing this from Haruhi's perspective of not wanting to get involved with them. At least we get like to see like if she was involved with them, she would also be that dead tired because of their shenanigans. She knew what that group would get up to, which is why she also kind of quietly avoided them in the last spring break until they found out where she was and then immediately invaded her life there.
Arrived there on plane.
Yeah, via helicopter. And
also during this chapter, May calls Honey a creature, which I found funny.
I did see that, yeah, because she was like meeting the whole group for the first time. The twins were calling out her tan and makeup and her outfit or whatever, and then seeing Honey and she's, who's this creature here? What's happening here?
How do they make him so small?
And eventually in this arc they go to the twins' place, and that's how we see the twins' mom, which we already talked about the twins' mom and the dad and all that kind of stuff. But we're at a point now where we've established that we want to build up things in that regard, and we want to develop more of the character, but we don't really know where to put it, so we're putting this in the middle of this arc, I guess, to also develop that for time reasons. It's a lot going on for like what we're trying to introduce for like the bigger plot, I guess, that would be happening at a time where I already wasn't caring too much for the main plot we're supposed to be focusing on for this specific arc. I don't know. It's one of those things where I've said, I think, a few times, it's one of those stories where you're not necessarily going to have regret reading these chapters, and they have a lot of funny moments and expressions, but you don't necessarily, this is all from my perspective at least, you don't necessarily get constant great arcs or constant great content throughout the entirety of the arc. They just overstay their welcome with how long they go. Like this one also took up, after that first chapter, it took up the remainder of like this volume, except for like I think the last chapter when they introduced the sports festival arc, which I'm assuming is going to be the entire next volume. That's my assumption, at least. I could be wrong though, but yeah. We had the this is where we had the scene with the one of the twins taking Haruhi to the vending machine and saying like, as long as there's two of something, but what would we do if there was only one? And this gets repeated often. It's another one of those like things where we're trying to develop the twins' ideology of things and or connections towards romantic feelings in general, I think was the point. I don't know. I guess yeah.
The implication, and this is further compounded on when Honey kind of literally asks Karu later, like, hey, do you like Haruhi? And Karu has to admit to Honey, and by extension himself, that is like a crush that he has. But the whole point that they're doing that is because they're really trying to hone in on the fact that it is like a fight at this point for Haruhi's affection. Hikaru and Tamaki don't quite realize that that's kind of what they've gotten themselves into, because Hikaru isn't able to confront his emotions and Tamaki doesn't know how to process his emotions. Karu is kind of the only one of the two of them that is emotionally intelligent enough to, while he can ignore it, while he ignores it, he can admit, like, yeah, we all like Haruhi. So the whole point of we can, if there's ever one thing we can share, we can split it, is that they can't do that with Haruhi. They can share the friendly relationship, but they could not share a romantic relationship. And Hikaru doesn't quite notice that yet, but Karu does. And it's starting to really impact like how he interacts with Haruhi and how he interacts with Hikaru, and the fact that he is now, I hate that I'm using this word, but this phrase, because I read it in a fan fiction, but the idea that he's one step behind Hikaru. He's letting Hikaru take the lead because he's the only one realizing that one of them is going to have to come out on top. And he's trying to prepare for that to be Hikaru. He's giving Hikaru the dominant cookie, or like most of the cookie, rather than sharing it or taking it for himself. Like he's letting Hikaru be the one to take it all.
Right.
In it. So that's kind of just what they're kind of focusing on there, is the idea that there's always either been two or they've been able to share, and this is the first time where Karu at least is realizing that that's not possible.
Yeah. And they reinforce that with like the cookie stuff later on. Which yeah. I just remembered that whole cookie scene happening and being like, okay, we're making a bigger deal out of this whole cookie stuff than we should. But I understand the larger point of it. And I was just like, okay, all right. But again, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like how the twins are being developed in that respect. Maybe I just don't like how the twins are being developed in general with that kind of stuff. Because I feel like I do like how we present the development of these characters emotionally otherwise. It's just with the twins where the twins where it doesn't really do much for me. I don't know what it is. Yeah. So I don't know. So what did other people feel about this arc, the summer break 2 arc? I think this is the second summer break, right? Second? Something like that.
Second summer break, third spring. Don't think about it.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I think this is our third spring, but
it did open with like the text saying after an unknown number of spring breaks, or this is an unknown number or something like that. It was just like don't remind you again. Don't worry about how much time we've spent here. They're not graduating. Don't worry.
All fucking purgatory. Prove me wrong.
It's not so much the not graduating part and stuff that gets me. It's the skipping of entire seasons at random.
Yeah, that's the power of the monthly
Autumn and
release.
winter aren't real.
When they start an arc with the summer break stuff, and then we get out of that, and it's been several months past that, it's like, all right, well, we skipped certain events. I don't know, I guess. Yeah.
No Halloween episode. No, okay.
Even the Christmas one that we got was it was like not even hugely Christmas focused. Like I think they had a Christmas tree at the end, and then they referenced Christmas a couple times, but like they were not dressed for Christmas. That was the joke. They were dressed like the opposite for Christmas. So yeah, they were like in tropical outfits for that. But that was like we're not too concerned about that, but I guess again I'll reiterate my question. How did we feel about this arc? Did other people enjoy this arc? Did they see it in a different way than I did, or how did everybody else?
Oh, I actually really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Because it was the first one where it wasn't focused on like Harui's improvement. She got to be helping somebody else, and she actually got to be a character instead of an object.
Sure. That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Anybody else have thoughts about this arc? Okay, I guess nobody else had too much.
I mean, I do.
Either. Okay, well, go ahead.
Well, my thoughts are okay, really okay. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Hold on, I took notes. Okay.
Okay. All right. Oh shit. Hold on.
The first thing that I wanted to. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that you mentioned earlier that like the twins are just very much in it for the joke, and they're not, okay? Like, yes, okay, they definitely come across as the idea that they're only in it to get a rise out of people, right? They're only in it for their own pure enjoyment, and that is the version of the twins that we have come to expect, right? Tell me why then that Tamaki acting out of character made Hikaru and Karu so fucking mad. It wasn't just that they were like, oh, this is boring. It's like Tamaki changing who he was and reacting in that way to something, becoming somebody that he wasn't, was genuinely agitating for them. It was something that they had an emotional response to, because yeah, they, rag on him all the time and they tease him, but they really do care about him. And I cannot emphasize this enough, that they all just care about each other so much, and it's such a good found family story. Also, I'm obsessed with the fact that, like, the twins both are kind of like, and I think that this is why Tamaki was so drawn to them in the beginning, but they're kind of like components of him, right? I have it somehow written down separately that Karu and Tamaki are both very perceptive to other people's emotions. Karu is the more empathetic of the twins. Tamaki is always constantly wanting to help people, right? Whereas Hikaru is the one that isn't quite in tune with his own emotions. He isn't really able to communicate effectively. He doesn't even really process that he has a crush on Haruhi. And Tamaki is the exact same way. Tamaki is like this perfect blend of both of them. And the twins, like the story of the twins kind of takes a step back and then adds that spin of the isolation, the childhood isolation, and kind of puts it in a different light. So you can kind of look at like Hikaru and Karu's development as like the two parts of Tamaki developing, but also the fact that like they get to develop and grow together. Very frequently when they are getting into the shenanigans they're getting into it as a triplet, the group of them, the three of them, right? And Honey and Mori are kind of off to the side, and Kyoya's like, whatever, like, let them do their thing. But it's very much like, I don't know, they're one and the same, okay? So I wanted to emphasize that, and the fact that like very clearly the twins do care about Tamaki. I also wanted to point that out because I don't remember when it was, but the courage test with the president, it's not like, I can argue day and night, obviously, day in, day out, that the twins care about Tamaki. But your argument inherently would be, well, yeah, but they're, mean to everybody else. And that's not true. They obviously show the ability to care for and trust other people. Now, is it mildly misogynistic that they did it with a guy, not a girl? Yes, but we don't need to get into that. Like, they have the capability of just being better people. I want to emphasize that because so often when like the twins are presented, the character that they're presenting is that they are the two goofballs that just want to haze everybody, and it's like, that's not true, and we see that time and time again. But the internal conflict and the character development, and it's got me going nuts. Okay, so that Tamaki and Hikaru being similar, and they're not just goofballs. Hold on, I have to. Okay, so the other thing that I really like is one of my favorite character tropes is the idea of a character being secretly genius, which I get that a lot with Tamaki. Kyoya is not secretly genius. He's very obviously genius. But Honey and Mori being completely aware of what's going on, the fact that they're the third years, like, basically just looking down at this group of children and being like, damn, y'all are so confused about all this shit, is so funny to me. Just, I love, and Honey having to be the one to, like, walk Haru through the idea that, like, yes, you are involved in this. You are not as isolated from this as you think you are. I love that trope. That's also part of why I like Tamaki so much, because not only academically, but, like, in terms of, like, how he approaches people, he is a secret genius. He comes off as very self-centered, but he's really not. Like, he's egotistical, yes, and he is a little bit of a ditz because, we're reading this from essentially the lens of a commoner, and that's just not the world that he grew up in, so it's not the world that he's smart in, right? But the way that he reads people, the fact that he knew exactly what would be able to get Mei to open up to be reconciling with her dad, the fact that he knew what the twins needed, the fact that he knows what Kyoya needed, the fact that he knows what Mori is needing to say, the fact that he was able to basically bring Honey out of his shell, he's so genius at reading people, and it all gets brushed under the rug with a punchline or calling him a pervert, and it's driving me nuts. So there's also that. So that's something that's really important to me, and that's kind of touched on a little bit. I'm really worried about how they're going to take it with what the punchline is going to be, but the idea that there was something deeper in the sports event. There was a little bit of a throwaway line that he said, where when he was kind of stammering about what he wanted to do, she was like, did he have something more that he wanted to do with this? But that kind of got shut down because Kyoya was like, fuck this, I don't care about you guys. So I'm really interested in seeing where that goes. I'm really worried about what the punchline is going to be, though. And then okay, so this is the scene that I was fucking bawling at, okay? The scene where his dad comes back unannounced from his business trip to check in on his sick son and sees Tamaki cuddling with a picture of his mother. And he's like, I could take you to your mother. I could let you see her, but I want you to prove yourself to your grandmother because you're not an heir right now, and doing that would completely break her trust, and I want you to be successful. I was bawling at that. What do you mean that his dad, this man who doesn't even live with in the same house as Tamaki, cares about him so much? and we never see that, and Tamaki doesn't see it. He's not going to remember any of that. All he sees is the way that Yuzuru picks on him, and like, I was sobbing. And there's all such good characters, okay? Like the twin. I love this manga.
Yeah.
I think that was everything.
Are you sure you got it all out?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I obviously I can't address all of the points you made because there was a lot of them, but the ones I do remember, I understand that the twins have more going on than just being bored and wanting to cause mischief or whatever. I think I just I don't think I really connect too well with the actual emotional development stuff that we're trying to do with them in the background, and I more so enjoy them more as the comedy entertainment they get by causing mischief and helping the plot go along with that kind of stuff. But I understand the appeal of what's developed with them. I think it just isn't hitting for me for whatever reason with how it's being presented, and I don't know why exactly. It's just not really connected. I mean, the strongest connection, of course, that I get is through Kyoya's backstory stuff. But I don't really like feel too much for like the twins with their stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Yeah. So yeah. Like I understand they have more going on. I just don't know if I care too much for it. I don't know.
I was also gonna add that I really liked the summer chapter. Not just because we're Tamaki is being forced to kind of confront his feelings about Haruhi and really understand what they are. And we as the reader are kind of basically being told, like, Haruhi shares that sentiment. It's just that she doesn't express it in the same way that, like, any of the hosts do. But I actually also really liked reading it because we have, from what I can tell, we have officially deviated from the anime. None of this week's reading, volumes 9 and 10, were in the anime. So this was completely new content for me. So I really liked seeing basically a bunch of this stuff and like the good juicy stuff that we didn't get in the anime because the anime was so short and came out in the middle of the manga coming out.
Right.
So I had a lot of fun reading it, and I think that like this is another example of how he like kind of the criticism that I had brought up with Casanova earlier. This really felt like Haruhi's first real female friend. Now, would Haruhi say that? No, not at all. But it's a relationship that I think, even though like Aztec was right, or no, like Haruhi was a character in it. And I think that it's important for both Mei and Haruhi, the fact that this relationship even exists, even if like, yeah, it is there to like bolster the homosexual supporting cast or whatever. Like, I think that it was a really valuable character to introduce for Haruhi's sake, because it's like, it's the person that the author wanted Renge to be, but Renge didn't have enough allure to be able to do it. I don't know. I hate Renge. Renge really gets under my skin. I do not feel the same way about Mei. I think Mei is a very fun character. And it might be because she's probably a lot more down to earth than Renge is.
I don't know, Doug, how can you possibly Renge and her asserting that Tamaki and the European girl are related?
I fucking hate Renge. She's my least favorite
that's
character.
what it was. She automatically assumed, oh, the princess, Tamaki must be related. They must be long lost siblings. It's like, okay, listen, can we calm down now?
Sometimes we commit some crimes. That happens in Ouran.
So, all right. Oh yeah, I don't remember if did we get your thoughts, Andy, on the Casanova arc stuff? Casanova, whatever. Do you care about this guy?
Not at all. Again, that was in the anime, so I had a feeling it was coming and I knew what the outcome was. I feel like if I were experiencing this story completely fresh for the first time, I might be able to agree with you that some of these arcs are being dragged on too long, but like at least half of the content that we've gone through so far, I knew was coming. So I was able to skim through it and not feel like it took too long, because I knew it was coming. So I was like, yada yada yada, whatever kind of thing. Casanoda is they did Casanoda's character archetype better with Ryuji and Toradora. Ryuji and Toradora was actually an appealing character to follow.
Parallels happening today.
Look, okay, so
I'm not blaming you. I'm just making a statement.
Character with hard angles in the face, the small pupils. I don't remember what the name for it is, but the small eyes so you can see the whites all around the eyes. That's a character archetype, the tough character archetype that's secretly a softie. Very popular. Okay, there's Ryuji, there's Casanoda, there's that character in Call Me Can't Communicate that I was complaining about, so on and so forth. Casanoda is like the absolute blandest, boringest example of that archetype possible. He is an angry character that secretly isn't angry and likes to care for pets. Congratulations! You've explained that stereotype to a T. And yes, is this manga about satirizing stereotypes? Yes. That doesn't mean I have to like him. So I just think that generally he's very boring. And he doesn't add anything. Like, yeah, he's funny sometimes, but he'd be more interesting if he would actually, like, I don't know, kiss that guy that ran away from his family to honor them or something. Maybe I'd be more invested if that was a subplot, but it's not.
I feel like he has a bit of bias there.
Oh no, they're in love. What are you talking about? Bias? Did you see the way that kid looked at him? Oh, he loves him. Anyway, so yeah, he's just a very boring character, and I feel like number one, the arc that they did with Casanoda, they could have done that with Nekozawa. I'm just saying. They did not need to introduce an entirely new character for that arc. That basically happened with Nekozawa and Kirimi. That was just the same arc, copy-pasted with a new character to introduce because we needed somebody to know that Haruhi is a girl for the punchline. Whatever. Okay, fine. Comparatively, May has, like, because I don't know, the way that you asked that made me think, like, oh, like, the two characters that at least I've been introduced to this week is Casanoda and May, and they had really long arcs, and you were not a fan, which, that's your prerogative. This is my prerogative.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I think that... Hold on, I have to catch my breath for a second.
You gotta calm down. You gotta calm down. There's no rush here. You gotta calm down.
I think that comparatively, May is a far more interesting character. Number one, because she doesn't necessarily hinge on a punchline.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously, there is the joke of her being very I don't know what the word for it is. I don't want to say plastic, but that cosmetic, that artificial cosmeticness. Like, there is a joke to be made there. That's kind of like what the author is getting at. Huh? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, but I don't know.
I mean, because my take on that whole thing was, like, she's seemingly so obsessed with how or upset, quote, with how not only fake her dad is being with his hobbies compared to her ideas for how he should be acting, but also the fact that he is obsessed with it and effectively abandoning her in order to do it, while she is also going through all of these attempts to artificially make herself more beautiful, I guess. That's like a more kind of thematic, emotional way of looking at what's going on there, I guess. But I don't I think,
and it's so much more driven than Casanoda's character was.
Right. But I mean, in general with her, I did enjoy the fact that she was probably like the polar opposite type of person than Haruhi is and is hanging out with her. 'Cause like she is highly like noticing details about certain things in people, and Haruhi just couldn't care less about them, so she just wouldn't comment on them at all and would just be like, I would like to go home now. Whereas the May would like notice these things and like call them out in a way, and like even like yell at Haruhi for not noticing that. I think there was like one scene where like the twins' mom, who May is a huge fan of the twins' mom, so as soon as she finds out that their mom is like that big fashion person, she's like, we have to go to their house immediately, and that's how we got to that chapter. There's a scene, I think, where they dress up Haruhi in one of her outfits, and May goes to see Haruhi, and May is like eating cake while wearing this outfit, and she's like, you can't you're gonna ruin the outfit eating the cake while you have it on. Take that shit off. What are you doing? Like, you know, doing the things like you're saying, making her more of a character than her like her trope here, I guess. Like she's showing that these are things that she genuinely cares about. There's a whole like they showed it as a joke, but she was like, this is my schedule. Her schedule is like wake up, make clothes, pursue love, and then sleep. And there was like several days of this. And then I think like Saturday and Sunday was work. It's showing that like she's working hard towards these things and doesn't realize the scope of how much shenanigans she's going to get in by hanging out with the host club. And you're just seeing the aftermath of somebody who has just hung out with the host club, having not known any of the events that transpired with the host club, which is funny in context to like see or whatever. I just thought it was weird that we basically had Haruhi, who was our main perspective for all the things happening, just like essentially stay home for all of that. For other sub reasons,
life, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think I also did like
was forced to be the main character.
I think I also did like there was one chapter where the two were like waking up and laughing together, and the dad wakes up like, oh, it's so lovely to wake up to like these two girls laughing together. It's very calm here, okay. And then like a few chapters later, he's waking up to them arguing with each other loudly, and he's like, shut up, get out, tosses him out the door, go study somewhere else, bye.
But he was also appreciative of the fact that like it was the first time he'd ever have to tell Haruhi to be quiet.
Right, yeah, because it shows that he's, you know, making connections, or he's making connections with people. So yeah,
exactly. And Haruhi, from the perspective of who is the better female friend, Haruhi did not get that with Renge. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Sure. Well, Renge, I'm sorry, not Renge. I was thinking of the red-haired guy at first, with like the connection the manga was trying to make with the red-haired guy, Casanoda or whatever it was. He just immediately was like, "Oh, she's a girl? I think I love her now." And then that was just an awkward chapter afterwards.
I will say, I don't like his character because you put it into really good words. They made May like a character and not just her character archetype. Casanoda just is his character archetype. He doesn't really have any depth outside of that. It was so fucking funny when the rest of the host guests watched her friend zone him twice.
Yes, yep.
Friend rolling. Oh my gosh.
The like text
so
bubbles
funny.
holding that.
Hold on.
But
speaking of the Bossa Nova arc, I gotta know what your thoughts on the part where Tamaki goes, okay, what if hypothetically I'm not Haruhi's dad?
What? No way. What?
Did you not remember that?
Oh my god, what? He's like just realizing this now. What do you mean I'm not? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Like, what's next? You're telling me Kyoya isn't Haruhi's mom?
What do you mean? What do you guys are crazy. So going off of the idea that Casanova is essentially just his character archetype, it made sense that they brought him back for May's arc, specifically to have him be the asshole jerk at the festival to try to reconnect May with May's dad. I think their plan was something like, we're going to have Casanova show up and try to start stuff with Tamaki and May as they're doing the goldfish game, and then as he gives his scary presence and tries to assert that a fight may start, we will have the father show up and save the day, and then May will be reconnected with the father or something to that respect. Prior to this, we were doing a whole bunch of things like Tamaki was going to hang out with the dad and help out run the place, and then would like slowly take back ingredients and or recipes for the meals that the dad would make at home, and then gave it to Haruhi to like make at their home so that they would slowly remember that connection, I guess. And then they tried to do that. And then we had Casanova show up. Casanova was trying to do it, and he was like saying his lines like he's supposed to, and she's immediately just like, the fuck is your problem, dude? I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was like immediately saying like immediately just trying to be actually more threatening than him. And then the dad shows up, is like, hey, leave her alone, what's happening? And she's like, what are you doing here? I don't need your help for this. What's
you forgot an integral step, which was May called Tamaki on his bullshit.
What was that?
Again,
yes, that's true.
Archetype, yeah, the character archetype that had been introduced for May was the sassy, vaguely dim-witted Gyaru, right?
Yeah.
And she sat there and went, you have a crush on Haruhi. You don't realize you have a crush on Haruhi, and you've been trying to manipulate me for the past 4 weeks. And he was like,
to be clear,
you noticed.
Well, to be clear, I was like, you're getting a little much with this Tamaki. He was like, oh, let's get this for Haruhi. Let's get this for Haruhi. We should do this also. You know, this reminds me of Haruhi. Like throughout their entire festival hanging out session, he like brought up Haruhi like 3 times. And then like they're doing the goldfish, he brings up Haruhi again, and she's just like, "Are you in love with Haruhi?" And it's like, "What? No, what? No, what?
Nah.
What? Her father? That's weird. Oh no, I'm like her father. That's even worse."
Yeah,
it's like the exact dialogue punches.
Tamaki, the ideal father figure.
But no, because the reason that Casanova goes up to do it is because Tamaki turned to try and call off the plan, because May had called him on the fact that he was very clearly trying to do something, and she was like, I'm not interested in reconciliating with my father. Like, yeah, I know you've been feeding me recipes and stuff from him. I kind of got that because I'm familiar with the taste, but it's not a relationship that I'm interested in pursuing right now, and I'd really appreciate if you would butt out of it. And Tamaki tried to turn and be like, hey, go away. And Casanova was like, oh, that's the signal. And he went to approach May, and May was abrasive about it. And then the big like confrontation between May and her dad was the idea that what they had assumed was that she wanted a more manly father, and she was just pissed at his conviction. And she was like, you can't now go back on what you gave your life up, like gave me up for. Don't fucking, turn around and then be like, oh, I can be the manly man you wanted when you couldn't be that for me when I was a kid. And I thought the ending was cute. Because she was like, willing to basically try and breach that. And even if, she didn't really appreciate how Tamaki and Haruhi went about it, like, sure. It still worked. It worked.
Yeah. Right.
I just wanted to add that I thought it was really cute when they were first making their plan, that like everybody was like, all right, well, we need somebody who's like big and intimidating, and everyone turns to Mori.
To Mori?
And he's just like, no, not me.
He's the big man. You know what I'm doing?
Wait.
I read that scene. I was just like, this is a terrible idea. So they're gonna actually do it. It's gonna happen.
Of course.
Nope, this is
a terrible idea, and they're gonna act like they're not gonna do it, but then they're gonna do it, and then they actually did it.
I do like I very much enjoy when they do pull characters from previous chapters. The Casanova one was a little on the nose. This was from last week. Giving Casanova the fucking elementary schooler as like the cute item.
Yeah.
I was dying.
That part I thought was
a crazy pull. I really liked that. I thought that was funny.
Was somebody else trying to say something there? Oh, okay. So yeah, do we have anything else to say about the May arc summer break chapters? Sounds like we've talked about pretty much most of the things that happened there. So then after that, we got one more chapter before the end of the volume, I think, which was about the sports festival, the first ever sports festival here at the host club, which they didn't set up prior ever, because they were like, you know, the parents probably would have thought it was too dangerous for their kids, because most of them are probably like going to inherit
fragile,
very
rich
wealthy
kids.
and they're fragile, yeah, for sure. But the chairman's just like, well, I mean, if you guys want it, you know, I'm sure we can figure it out as long as you guys are voting for it. So then the whole school is like divided into the two teams for this, the red team and the white team, and they're none of them know how sports festival is supposed to run or what it even entails, despite having several sports clubs, I assume, because we have an American football sports club. So I assume we have more than just them. But none of them know how sports festivals work, and they specifically ask Haruhi for their expert advice on how commoners do their sports festivals. And she's like, well, you could play tug a rope or cheering events and racing. And the joke here is they just completely misunderstand what all of these games are supposed to be. At first, they're like, why would you just drag a rope behind you or a cavalry? That's going to involve like at least 50 horses. I don't know if we're going to have all that. Cheering events. Okay, what if we did like Macbeth? What if we did like and we're just like, what is happening here? Do we not understand how this? We're just not getting this.
This is commoner speak, chap. They don't know. Okay.
I mean, at this point, I don't know if they're actually going to be just doing ridiculous stuff like that for their games or not. I would believe it with this kind of story, but I don't know. But the point of this whole arc started because Kyoya and everybody was hanging out, and the football club shows up, and it was like, Kyoya, we're here to start shit. We're gonna challenge you to a sports festival because I'm they had to reintroduce the guy by saying, heard you guys were talking about fruits. I happen to be a fruit expert myself. It's time to do a contest. I was like, okay, they really want to remind us who this person was by the trope of him being the heir of a big, what was it, orange producer or something like that. He really liked oranges or something like that, like just fruits in general, maybe. So Kyoya is just like, I have no interest in any of this. It's very boring and doesn't benefit me at all. So why should I bother with this? This is just going to cost us money for the host club because we're going to be wasting time and hours practicing for the event. So I just do not care, and I would rather not participate. And Tamaki is immediately loves the idea and is trying to set up a committee for it and is trying to like clearly involve Kyoya in some way with this for reasons that are vaguely hinted at by him saying, I just wanted ... And then like we dive into that more with like, Haruhi being like, what did he actually think there? So obviously there's going to be a deeper meaning towards all this, towards Tamaki wanting Kyoya to be a part of this event. But the biggest thing that this sets up before the chapter ends, because this is only just the beginning of a larger arc, I imagine, is the teams are assigned by student ID, I assume randomly. So the host club is split up for this event as well.
Student ID number.
Yeah, so the host club is
I think they just
split
went
up.
down the roster.
Probably. So like the twins are each on opposite teams. I think the teams are okay. I see the page now. So the white team from the host club, we get Kyoya, Honey, and I don't know which twin this is, but one of the twins is on that side. And then the other side, the red team's got Haruhi, Tamaki, Mori, and one of the other twins. So the twins are split up. Mori and Honey are split up. Haruhi is on Tamaki's team, and Kyoya is just on the opposite team. And the panel makes it look like the team with Kyoya and Honey is like evil and will destroy them in this event. And then the other one is just them freaking out kind of about it, being like, oh no, we might actually lose this because now Kyoya's actually locked it. Because at first Kyoya didn't give a shit and didn't want to be involved. And then I think he went outside, and then his rival from the football team was just like, didn't realize you would give up on something like this, huh? Too much of a challenge for you, huh? He's like, why the fuck would I
just
do that?
reread it.
And he locked in.
I just reread it because I was trying to remember the Tamaki Kyoya.
Oh, it was like a
Tamaki.
Okay.
Kuze, the rival, was like, oh, you realize that you can't,
you're just doing it to gain
compete.
favor with Tamaki or something.
You're just doing it to gain favor, and it shows good on you to surrender to him. And Kyoya's like, I would not, any day in my life, surrender to that fucking dumbass. And turns around and says, Tamaki, I accept your competition. I'm going to kill you.
Not only does he say, Tamaki, I accept it, I'm going to kill you. He's like, all right, Honey, you and me, we're going to practice, we're going to lock in. I'm going to give it an assessment of the strengths and weaknesses of our enemies. We're going to be practicing hourly or whatever. He's like laying out a whole plan for them already, having only thought about joining it like a few seconds ago. The stakes, he walks in and says the stakes are, if we lose, I will keep the kotatsu out all year round or something like that.
Which was the punchline that I was worried about. I think genuinely that there is like most likely a deeper reason that Tamaki wanted to do this for Kyoya. There's a relationship dynamic that I'm like exploring with my roleplay partner, where the idea of like the way that one shows affection to the other is allowing the other to basically like vent and stuff. And so I think that this is Tamaki giving Kyoya a chance to be competitive and be like, basically break out of the fact that he is in the box of the third son. This is giving Kyoya the chance to really show that like he can be a leader. He's capable of being the heir to the Hatori family. And it maybe that isn't necessarily Tamaki's conscious goal, but I think it is kind of where the writing is going to end up going.
Okay.
I would hope.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. I would say I'm interested to see how this arc goes, but I would say I'm probably going to maybe enjoy this arc more so than the others, just because it seems like it will at least focus on Kyoya. That will probably be why I will enjoy that more so than the other arcs, probably. But I don't know. The way that we've started this sports arc was them not understanding which sports we should do, and then just the I don't know if we're supposed to be competing against the football guy anymore, or just facing off against Tamaki and all of them now, or
He's a worthy adversary.
The reason why we started this was because we wanted to have Kyoya go up against the football guy, but now it seems like it's just I want to go against Tamaki and everybody else, and it seems like that's going to end up being the focus. Is the club is split up, so now we're going to have an emotional scenes involving splitting up Honey and Mori, emotional scenes involving splitting up the twins for this. Tamaki versus Kyoya is going to be a whole thing. I feel like that's more so going to be the focus. Haruhi, they're probably just going to develop more Haruhi and Tamaki's stuff. I assume. That's my assumption.
Well, no. Well, I guess maybe Haruhi,
because they're going to be on the same team. So I don't know.
they're going to be on the same team, but they're going to be on the same team with Hikaru. There was a whole scene about the fact that Hikaru literally outright said with Karu, no, I want all three of us to be on the same team.
Oh,
I think that it's going to be Hikaru and Haruhi stuff, and Tamaki off on the sidelines as he usually is. But I think, assuming that the writing is going to go how I figure it would, it will be focused on Hikaru and Haruhi.
Okay.
Especially also because, like, the part of, like, right before Kyoya busts, sorry, again, I just reread the scene. Right before Kyoya busts back into the host room, right? Tamaki is kind of like, oh, I should maybe probably, like, apologize to Kyoya. And then Kyoya comes in and just fucking goes off on Tamaki, right? So Tamaki is aware and now, like, scared and aware that Kyoya is, like, really fucking upset about this. So in my heart of hearts, my hope or my assumption is that it'll be a lot about Haruhi having to navigate Hikaru both liking her and not being able to be away from Karu, while Tamaki is trying to struggle with that, with the idea of Hikaru and Haruhi getting closer, but also the fact that he is now at odds with, like, his best friend. That's the first person that he, like, really met when he came to Japan from France. That's, the person that he's had this club together with for, like, 2 years at this point. So I think that that's probably what a lot of this is going to be about. And Honey and Mori are going to be chilling like, damn, they're falling apart. That's so funny. But anyway, I don't know.
That's possible. Like you said, I'm assuming we're still at the point where this is all anime, or not anime, manga original now, because the anime would have ended after a certain... What was the point where the anime ended?
So... the anime actually, so it's...
Is there one of those things where, like, it took a chapter that happened later that we haven't gotten to yet?
Yes.
Okay.
So the anime actually ended with the Ouran Fair.
Okay.
The Ouran Fair was the last episode of the anime and included a character that we haven't met yet, but I think is in the manga. But like the Casanova stuff, that all happened before the Ouran Fair. So a lot of these pieces have already happened. They've just happened in a different order, essentially.
Okay.
I would have to completely rewatch the anime, and I'm not going to because it's going to fuck up my memory. I would have to rewatch the anime to figure out what maybe is in the anime that we haven't covered yet. I know at the very least there is a character that was introduced at the end of the anime that we haven't met yet that I'm pretty sure comes in the manga. But yeah, the anime technically ended with the Ouran Fair. And Hatori, Bisco Hatori helped write it and stuff. And that it was kind of like, I don't want to spoil it, but it was like an incomplete ending. It was the ending that you give an anime when the manga's still going. Like, that's very much what it felt like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't remember where I was going with all of that.
No, you're fine. I mean, the question was just like, where does it end? And the answer is just, we haven't gotten to the chapter where it actually ends yet. So that's fine.
I think that the
ending
plot is
felt
different.
very, we'll see you again in season 2.
And then they never got it.
Season 2.
We'll see you again in season 2, or go buy the fucking manga, okay? It's on sale now.
That's why I'm saying that it ended at the Ouran Fair, because the way that the Ouran Fair plot went in the anime, not at all how it went in the manga. So that's why I'm like, I don't know.
You telling Orange Boy didn't happen?
No, the football team, not in the anime at all. Kyoya does not have this like weird rivalry with the football team. That's not like a subplot at all. So that's why I keep saying that it ended with the Ouran Fair, because like it does, but it is a completely different plot point. That's the one that I was telling you where Kyoya like gets slapped in the middle of the Ouran Fair and stuff, like entirely different. So I don't know.
It starts out the same, and then halfway through it completely diverges.
So I don't know if I can confidently say we haven't gotten there yet, because if Bisco Hatori worked on it and it came out like it felt like it was supposed to have a season 2, I don't know if what happened in the anime is going to happen in the manga at all.
Wait, so the fair that you're referring to was not, or was vastly different to the culture fair that we saw several weeks ago, or
it was the culture fair from a couple weeks ago, but it was like halfway through, it just becomes a whole different thing.
Oh,
but
okay.
it starts out like, Oh yeah,
So-
here it's different from a regular culture
Okay,
fair.
so-
because
so
it's
it would-
they're doing leadership instead of arts and crafts.
Right. So it will either be that they just do another culture fair because we're just repeating some of these seasonal things anyways later, or it just doesn't. That's an anime original thing.
Or it might be part of a completely different plot. Or
Yeah, it might be a different. That's what I'm thinking is like they took an arc that's going to happen later and combined it with the Ouran fair and just made that the ending of the anime.
Okay.
I definitely have things to chime in about if that's what's going to happen, but I don't know.
Okay.
That's like the Halloween episode of the anime makes the Halloween like chapter and then the courage contest chapter into one thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I bet. Oh, I get to talk about one of my favorite things. Let's go. Yeah. If it does happen. I hope so. I hope so now.
You're very excited. We'd love to see.
I am very excited.
Okay, so yeah, we've begun the sports festival arc, the first of many sports festivals, I'm sure, at this high school. I don't know if we'll get to read about them all, but this is the first. So good luck to them on that and that journey. We'll find out more about that next week. But we're not done yet. We have what was it called? Is it called Love Egoist or Romantic Egoist? I forget what it's called now. That chapter happened.
Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry series with new funky
It
modes.
is it at least is not following the same story that we got for the past 2 weeks.
Thank God.
We got a new story with 2 different people.
It's a different teacher and high school student.
Yeah.
Also,
we've already met this guy because this is clearly the
So we heard you
teacher's
like
friend.
ramen.
Yeah, the teacher's college friends that dropped off the ramen.
Oh, okay. I did not make that connection at all, but I see it now.
Same, neither did I.
Yeah.
I
So,
did.
okay. Well, great for you. Yeah, I didn't make that connection at all, but I guess it makes sense now. But the premise here was he if I understand right, he wasn't a teacher yet. He was like taking exams to become a teacher at this point. How old would he be at this point then?
Don't they call him like a grad student? No.
I'm not
I would
sure.
assume he's in college.
I have a feeling that she very conveniently left out his age.
All I know is,
Yeah.
all I know is very clearly they had stated at some point that the girl he was having feelings for here and trying to go out with and eventually trying to marry was like still in high school. So I was like,
They said she was 17.
okay, all right. So I was like, okay, are we doing another teacher-student thing or whatever? But I guess he was taking exams to become a teacher, so he wasn't really yet or something. And then as we find out later, as we see later, he doesn't do it or whatever. But the whole thing here is, and we're still introducing the, like, sisters. Was this even one of the sisters?
Yeah, so the 2 twins have an older sister. And the 2 twins do like black magic, and the older sister does clairvoyancy.
Okay, so she shows up to him when he's at a vending machine. She's just like, "Don't go that way. Your life will be doomed if you do." And he's like, "What the fuck is happening here?" And then he ends up dropping his coin, following it, and he meets a girl running a ramen shop who's just like, "Would you like a job?" He's like, "Sure." He's immediately having all these ideas for the kind of person she's supposed to be for him, and then he goes to work there, and she's just like, "You're late. You gotta let us know ahead of time if you're gonna be late. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Oh, this customer asked for this. No, we're all out of that. We clearly have some of that, but you're not getting that, and isn't that or whatever." But then it tries to Uno reverse that again by saying like, "Oh, actually, she cares about all these customers or whatever. Like the customer who asked for a certain meal." She didn't give it to him because she knows that they have high blood pressure and their doctors don't want them eating those kind of meals. So she feeds them vegetables instead. Because it's supposed to be she cares that much about her customers, actually, despite how she makes it look. But then again, literally all of the customers are making weird comments towards her. I think the entire time, all of them are like hitting on her.
Very interesting customer base.
Because I was just ready for her to like try to fuck with them because they literally all just keep trying to hit on her. But it was no, I care about them. I care about them so much that I make it look like I am not going to serve them their food for that reason, but actually it's because I care about their blood pressure and things like that. The development here is he keeps trying to connect with her, and I mean he's like falling for her more and more pretty much, and she pretty much expresses later like, I'm here to eventually marry someone who can help run the ramen shop, and you very clearly have a bright future in being a teacher, so you should go do that. I will actually be angry with you if you waste something like that on running this ramen shop instead or something like that.
And then he proceeds to do that.
So yeah, he went to the college stuff, and then eventually he's just like, you know what? I just realized I don't have to be a teacher. And he goes to see her. He's like, don't worry, I'm here. I just realized I don't have to be a teacher. And then they lived happily ever after, I guess.
The end.
It was more nuanced. It was something along the lines of like, I don't have to be a teacher in order to help give people a brighter future. At least I just want to be able to make myself happy in whatever way that I am helping to enrich people's lives, and that can also be in helping you run a ramen shop. But in my mind, it was just her saying, you need to go become a teacher, and then he immediately came back and said, yeah, well, I don't want to be a teacher anymore. Checkmate. Easy. Again,
Checkmate. Ramen's with human facts and logic.
I will say, compared to the other Love Egoist chapters, wasn't as bad as the other ones, but also is more so, I didn't really care still.
Fair. Yeah.
It was very long. I was expecting there to be another chapter of like Ouran, and then it was just like, oh, we're already at the Love Egoist.
Yeah, it's Love Egoist time. I'm just again, I think I've said this before. I think there's a reason why Love Egoist never got picked up as a series. I think there's a reason for this. I clearly Hatori Bisco likes whatever ideas they're trying to do with these stories, but they're just not hitting. Yeah, I don't know. There's not too much more to say about that other than, yeah, I don't.
It happened.
Yeah, it certainly happened. Yeah. That's all I really have to say about that. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say about that, but yeah, it was a. Let me ask this: did anybody here see the words "Love Egoist" and immediately go, "Oh God, skip"? Anybody here do that? Because I would not blame you for doing that.
I didn't skip it, but
Sure did.
I was like,
I'm
huh, this
always
chapter
like,
looks
oh.
weird. Oh, it's that. Well, that's 50 pages I don't have to read.
What'd you say, Ari?
Rerun's insane. You get such a good time save on it.
What'd you say, Ari?
I didn't skip it. Like I never skip it, but I am still always just, oh.
Here we go.
It's the kind of thing that you have to mentally prepare for before you start reading it.
No other manga
It's genuinely
has prepared for it. Only Ouran. You create a new thing we have to do, Andy.
Sorry. What were you saying, Elizabeth?
It's genuinely funny how just all of them are a miss. Every single one. I don't know how they managed to do that.
That is impressive. That is very impressive.
If we accidentally succeed.
You know, I mean,
I feel like the very first one before they like changed it to Love Egoist, it was okay, but
fine.
still
yeah, that was the
kind of
closest.
boring.
That was the closest they were gonna get, I think, so far.
Also, no sins were committed.
Yeah.
Well, one of them
At
did
least
try
in the
to
first
immediately.
One, it was all students.
To be clear, the first one's plot was trying to drug someone else into loving them. To be clear.
Okay. Look,
yeah.
To be clear.
Yeah, in Familiar Zero, that's illegal.
They were all teenagers.
But yeah. So that was Love Egoist. Yet another miss. Maybe next time. I honestly hope we stop trying at a certain point. I want more of the.
Only every other volume.
I want more of things like the Ouran Host Club Ship of Thesis chapter that we got, where they just try to remake their whole house without Haruhi knowing. I feel like we need more of those memes instead of this. I feel like that would enhance the experience.
Meme.
I miss the week before when we saw the one bonus comic where they were just like, so the author's like, me and all the other editors, what we do in our spare time is we imagine Kyoya in various situations of him trying to be a perfectionist and making very mild, small mistakes, and then seeing how that would play out and how funny that would be. We like to torture him like this often. I want more of that kind of stuff instead of Love Egoist.
It's like, holy shit, Kyoya made a mistake. I can't believe it.
Oh my god.
Get his ass. Typo in the group chat. Kill this motherfucker.
Pretty much. Yeah, so that was an attempt at Love Egoist. I don't remember if there was any bonus meme stuff for the afterwards. I think one of them was the author said, I drew Tamaki and Kyoya with afros and in suits because a lot of people asked me for that, so I did that. There you go, guys. Are you happy? Also, the school uniform almost went public and would have had their uniforms have a checkerboard pattern, but I ran out of time on the first draft, and I am glad I didn't do that because that would have taken so much time to make sure it's correct every single chapter.
Right. every time they're there, you have to draw the checkerboard.
Well, I wouldn't expect to know how the manga creation process worked at this time, but they probably had means. I assume they probably had means to establish a pattern that they've established more easily and cleanly in some way. I don't know what that would be referred to or called, but I'm assuming they do. I just don't know. It probably takes a lot of time in the process to do that every time.
What are we talking about, chap? We learned this in Blue Blaze. It's called the Master Stroke.
Oh, there you go.
In one of the volumes, they have like the flirtatious illustrations that are like right at the end. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because the second one had like the little Hikaru and Karu in the panda suits, and I thought that was really cute. But one of the notes was like, I asked people for who I should draw for these, and people keep saying Hikaru and Karu. They're flirtatious scenes, guys. Please pick a boy and a girl. I thought that was really funny.
I remember.
I'm not making you stop it.
Oh yeah, and for the explanation, we were given a diagram explanation for telling Kaoru and Hikaru apart. And the explanation was the curtains, you imagine curtains opening, and there's a left side and right side to it. And then you get the twins, and Kaoru would be on the left, Hikaru would be on the right, and the easier way to remember it is just, like, you would read the right side first in manga, and so that would be Hikaru. So you would then use you would combine that idea with the curtains to know if the hair is going that direction, then that is this person. So if the hair is going in that direction, then and it's going towards the side that would be on the right side, then that is Hikaru. And if it's going towards the side that would be on the left side of the curtains, that would be Kaoru. In theory, that's how it's supposed to look like if they did not decide to fuck with you and swap which side that their hair is on at that time. Which I'm sure they do often. But that, in theory, this curtain analogy will work. So that was the explanation that we got for that. And also what we got here was a calling for Ouran fan art at the end of one of the volumes. With the P.O. box. Okay, so you guys got to remember to mail in your submissions for Ouran fan art by April 30th, 2008. You got to submit it by then. They give you a form. They give you a form for it and everything.
It's currently 2007, so yeah, we got
basically
time.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
I don't even remember the last Ouran thing that I drew.
Well, you're gonna be late for the deadline submission.
For the deadline.
Yeah.
Great, you run out of time, Andy. You know, pull the Revan meme on the watch.
You gotta hurry up. You gotta hurry up.
We're a little low in time, are we?
All right. Do we have any other things that people wanted to bring up, or thoughts and or opinions that we want to? We're at the halfway. We're past the halfway mark, I think, now for this manga. So, do people have any thoughts at this point that they want to express about either these volumes or the series as a whole so far? Anybody? Yeah.
On the whole, these last 2 volumes were probably my favorite of the bunch.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to
I
hear
had
it.
a small gripe with Bisco Hatori's dealing with time during summer break. Just the times they woke up made absolutely no sense. You had Tamaki waking up at 5 a.m. Like, what high school student wakes up at 5 a.m. during summer break? Like most of these.
Torendo, I'd like to introduce you to someone. His name is Gentleman V4.
Okay, well, Shadowmans of the world aside. There was an actual plot reason for that, though, and the servants also were like, "Oh, you're awake early again this time." There was a plot reason for that. He was doing all the background stuff related to May, I think, right?
Yeah, he would sleep at his house and then travel to the pension, which doesn't mean much, but they did take a helicopter to get to it the first time that they went. So he would travel there and work the day there and then come back and spend the afternoon with May. And he would go and do stuff with her. So he just had a jam-packed day, bro. And then he'd go home and sleep and wake up and do it all over again.
I will say, now that you put it like that, that's wild. When they were in the last time they went to that place and they wanted to go home for the night, they went to Honey's nearby mansion, not all the way back home.
I know. Now Tamaki's making day trips there. That man is putting some mileage on his fucking limo, I guess.
He'll do all that stuff and still be the number 1 student somehow. He'll do all that stuff and still be the number 1 student somehow. That's just what he does.
How does he do it?
And yet he's still an idiot somehow. How's he do it? How does he do it?
It's because he's French.
Oh, I see.
I can't confirm this is true.
Speaking of time, though.
Yep.
The way Bisco Hatori dealt with Tamaki's timepiece was kind of cursed, because his clock has France at 12 o'clock, which besides that being against all convention of making a clock, because usually London GMT 0 is supposed to be at 12.
Oh, I hadn't caught that.
So I looked at the time zones, right? Because the time zone difference between France and London is 1 hour exactly. So I tracked all of the specific locations on that clock, and it's off by exactly a factor of 2. So the time zones in this world by Bisco Hatori is completely off by a factor of 2. So he spent all this time researching to make these locations correct, but the time is completely off. So that just pissed me off. I had a mini crash out in the spoiler zone, but it was very interesting.
Well, they've got only half the clock to show you, so they need to fit twice as much on it.
It just means the time works weirdly in this world, is what that means in this anime. Time must run twice as fast or something just to make all these time zones make even much sense.
That's why they have multiple spring
3
breaks.
springs and 2 summers in 1 school year. Dude, Turando just fucking cracked it.
We cracked the code.
No, don't do this to me. Bisco Hatori just messed up the time. This
It's been her plan from the very beginning, Turando.
Turando solved the epitaph.
So, I want to clarify real quick, because I'm seeing the image of it in the chat, and somebody is asking, isn't that 10:20? My implication is the arrow that is pointing at the 10 would be the seconds, because it has an actual arrow head to it that would, in theory, be moving around, whereas the other one does not. But I could be wrong.
It is 5 a.m.
I'm sorry for all the babies in the chat. The little hand is the hour, the long hand is the minute.
But there's another hand down underneath his thumb, okay?
That's seconds. That's always going around. So sorry, babies. Sorry, babies.
No, I understand the smaller one is supposed to be hour, but also that smaller one has like an actual arrow head that is pointing, which the other ones clearly aren't going to be, because clearly it's thinner than the one that's underneath the thumb and the one that's above.
If the story stated that he wakes up, his alarm goes off at 5 a.m., would you not assume that the arrow that is pointing vaguely in the direction of where the 5 is would be the hour arrow?
Wait, ask the question again? I'm trying to understand your question.
If the story states that this alarm is going off at 5 a.m., would it not be reasonable to presume that the arrow, the hand that is pointing vaguely in the direction of the 5, but just happens to be out of view of the panel?
I understand that. You obviously...
I'm playing with Spaghetti here. Who's trying to insinuate that the second hand is the hour hand.
Now I'm getting even more confused.
I mean, they can also be those. This could also like imply that this is like an expensive timepiece.
Yeah, you don't know if
those have calendars in them
they're
and
very
stuff.
elaborate.
That's true. In my head, the main thing that's going on is that the one thing that's pointing to 10 is very clearly a different arm than the one that's pointing to the other two. And
you know what?
The only thing that makes sense to me is
I have
that's
a friend. I have a
make
friend
clock?
who works for one of those companies. I will
Get 'em on
send
the
this
phone.
picture and ask them.
By the way, the other joke I was going to make is this what I sound like when I talk about the manga getting chess scenes wrong? Is this how I sound like?
No, you actually sound, I'm sorry, you sound so much more irate.
well, because, yeah, I mean, listen. Because usually they're always using the chess thing as a whole big thing about like how smart the characters are and the scene is or whatever, and they just didn't feel like understanding the rules of the thing that they're using for that metaphor. I don't know.
We create chessboard from a tournament. It's not hard to look up.
Yeah, but like, does it have the same symbolic meaning?
Who gives a shit, Andy? Subtext is for nerds.
Damn.
Damn! Then what have I been doing this whole time?
Manga club? Really? You're a nerd.
Damn.
You're in manga club.
Damn.
You like Mega Man.
Where's the boom vine? Where's the vine boom? There you go. This vine boom takes too long to actually play. It's not as fun.
Shadow's arguing that he's not a nerd because he says there's no subtext in Mega Man. And unfortunately, I didn't read Mega Man, so I can't argue.
There's some subtext in
Yeah,
there, don't
all the
worry.
people
I was gonna say, the way
who
I've
have
heard it,
hour-long YouTube videos about the music would probably argue with you on that, Shadow.
Oh, I'm not talking about music.
Sorry, nerd.
Don't
Shut up,
worry. Mega Man drops January 7th. Listen.
Champ, it's like the 9th.
Don't. It's the 8th, actually. It's the 8th, actually, for like 18 more minutes, I'll have you know. But we're not here talking about Mega Man. We're here to...
Or chess.
We're here to talk about how fucked up this clock is.
So, Turndo, we understand you have some issues with the portrayals of the clock details, or anything else you needed to share with us, Turndo?
No, that was basically it. I was just really annoyed how the time zones in this world just don't make sense. It just it doesn't. It just annoyed me so much.
Hey, Turndo, I have a proposal that might upset you. What if everything was just off because of the English typeset formatting?
Oh no.
And it actually was correct in the Japanese version.
That might actually kill me. That makes so much sense, but it would make me so upset. It's like,
I don't know if it's true.
I'm assuming the implication. So the implication would be that the names of the locations would be incorrectly placed, I guess.
Yeah,
because you have to cram it all in.
Because obviously you can't have the numbers on the clock being correctly placed.
Allegedly.
But why put Paris at 12? Why would you put Paris at 12?
He's
You would put
French.
Paris at
Because he's
1, and you would
French.
put London.
So it's a
But,
French clock.
Then the typeset would be in French. It wouldn't be in Japanese. You wouldn't have
True.
a French clock written in Japanese. You would have it would all be in French words, and the typeset would be correct.
Okay.
So the translation of this would make this clock would be absolutely upsetting to me.
Turn. It's a French clock made in Japan. He's rich. He can make it.
I think this is like a.
How dare you, Toronto? I can't believe you think that Tamaki's grandmother would let him bring anything French into the Suo Mansion #2.
Maybe Tamaki's grandma just hates him so much she gave him an incorrect clock. Just to fuck with him. Maybe that's what's happened here.
And he's never noticed.
Wild.
That was an amazing thing to come back to.
This is like the one gift that the grandma has given to him, and he has cherished it, and it's just been an incorrect clock the whole time.
That is poetic.
The 5D chess continues.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the clock stuff. Thank you, Turando, for that. Does anybody else have any thoughts about this week's volumes or the series in general? Now that we're halfway through, that you want to share with the class, like your perspective of how things have gone so far, or whatever. Anybody else?
It's going a little too well.
It's good. Oh, I heard it's good and it's going a little too well. So I'm getting mixed signals here. What do you mean by it's going a little too well?
I had a little too much fun with this is the problem.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. We'll add...
no, my lobster's too buttery.
Sorry. We'll go back to reading Land of the Lustrous and Fire Punch for some more depressing times for you, buddy. We'll bring those back.
And
Umineko, yes.
Yeah, we have to read Higurashi next.
Oh boy. Okay, so.
Observe
some.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Volume?
Say that again, Turando. You're kind of quiet right now.
Can we get predictions on how many people are going to the infirmary next volume because of sports club?
Oh God.
6, perhaps 7.
Oh God.
Shut the fuck up! How dare you?
I think we're gonna have to kick
I
Stick out of book
want to
club.
guess 64.
Mario 64? Wow.
Mario 67.
Okay, now I gotta kick 2 people out of the club.
Make that up, Andy.
Now I gotta kick 2 people out of the club. I will say this is the only other thing I'm gonna say related to that. Okay, I saw somebody on Twitter today who changed their name to Ryukishi67, and they were like, "Why did I do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why did you do this?"
Kakonia episode 2. Meowtake starts doing 6.
Oh my God. All right, so
It's okay. I know Anne is muted, but I know she is dying.
Sorry, Elizabeth leaving right there was really funny.
Elizabeth was like, "No, I can't handle it with the 6-7 jokes."
I can't do this shit anymore.
But that's fine. We're getting close to wrapping up anyways.
Don't know what you guys are on.
All right. So does anybody else have things that we wanted to share here? That we were saying like 6-7 memes. Oh, there's theories about how many people are going to end up in the infirmary. I feel like we will at least have one infirmary scene that they will try to develop, maybe like Tamaki or Hikaru in the infirmary and Haruhi's with them kind of scene.
Obviously, Haruhi's gonna get hurt, and Hikaru fucking flips his shit. Okay.
Oh, that's very likely. It's very likely.
I was gonna say something about the theater of the absurd, but I'm not educated enough to do that.
Okay.
And what was the point of university?
So that I could learn to animate, so I could make my own yaoi.
Based?
Since Ouran obviously isn't going to give it to me.
Good use.
Pujoing out in the camp?
I mentioned, I wanted to mention it in the episode because I mentioned it in the Discord. Everybody should join the Discord, by the way. It's pretty cool in there.
Yeah, discord.wolfborg.com.
discord.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com.
True.
First, I've forgotten.
That I think that part of the reason that it's easy for me to consume Ouran over other romantic comedies, such as this is a bad example, but like The Office or Parks and Rec, I've tried to give comedies a shot, and I always kind of am unable to really enjoy it because of the secondhand embarrassment that I get from the fact that like those very much feel like real situations you can get in. Ouran is so insanely, absurdly over the top that I'm able to enjoy the comedy because I know there is no way in fucking hell that any normal human being on the planet could get into a situation where their friends are recreating the city of Venice in the school gymnasium.
Yeah, it helps that they
So
are.
about that.
It helps that they're insanely rich and just kind of are bored, so they do whatever with their money. It helps with separating it from real people that you would know or real situations you would know.
But like that makes it easier for me to enjoy it because it has that absurdist bit to it. And I can't say anything more intelligent than that because absurdism came about in like the 1960s and 70s in America. I couldn't tell you when that might have started to become a thing in Japan, or if it's like even culturally relevant. But absurdism is cool. Theater of the absurd is fun. Everyone should read Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Pseudo recommendation. I'll talk about it more next week, I guess. But yeah, I like the absurdism of the manga.
Wait, hold on. It just occurred to me. Hold on. Go back. You said you can't tolerate comedies?
Yeah, because
No,
the
not usually.
Because of the
So you tell me
secondhand
that Umineko was
embarrassment.
in a comedy?
It's usually not.
What?
I don't know how to explain
What
this. You tell me Umineko's not a comedy. It's usually not. It's got comedic moments, but that's not. When we say a comedy series, we don't mean a series with like funny moments. Shadow. Usually,
you could
I haven't
argue it's a
laughed
comedic
once.
tragedy. But no, like even Toradora pushes it for me a little bit. I like it because it has enough cute moments to like outweigh the like really cringe moments. But like, and maybe this is only with Western media, but like with Parks and Rec, well, I couldn't watch Maid Sama for a very similar reason.
Right.
It for some reason Maid Sama just felt more like that could happen, and therefore this makes me uncomfortable. But like Big Bang Theory, The Office, Parks and Rec,
Bazinga.
just other like Western live action comedies. I can't. Friends a little bit less so, but a little bit. I can't watch them. But I don't have that same reaction to Ouran. The third time Rosencrantz and Guildenstern has come up in a conversation. Hey, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard is a very good book. It is about the idea of waiting endlessly for something that's never going to come and therefore being lost in your identity and sense of self and life as a whole.
I experienced that through watching Waiting for Godot as well.
Well, so Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead is a Hamlet-inspired parody of Waiting for Godot.
Okay, that makes sense then.
It pretty much identical stories. It's just Waiting for Godot if it was him. Well, so I'm getting back to it. I could argue that a lot of those sentiments of not necessarily isolationism, but isolation and loss of identity and lack of sense of self could be seen as themes in Ouran because a lot of the comedy comes from the absurdity of having so much money that you don't know what to do with yourself. So for a lot of them, they are just kind of like lost and wandering. They're trying to figure out who they are in the world. They're trying to figure out how their relationships how to navigate their relationships and how their relationships are important to them. And I definitely probably could talk more about this, but I would have to take some time to think on how the contemporary perceptions of the theater of the absurd may or may not have impacted the story and punchlines of Ouran.
Okay.
Food for thought.
Much to consider. Okay, does anybody else have any thoughts that they want to convey before we wrap up for this week? Alright, hearing nothing. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming by for another exciting episode of the Anime Book Club. We will be back next week with volumes 11 and 12 of Ouran High School Host Club, continuing the sports festival arc. I don't know how long it will be. My assumption is at least the first volume will probably mostly and or entirely be that, but I could be wrong. Anything could happen. But
I'm
we'll
betting
find
no
out.
more than 3 chapters.
Oh, okay. Then the real question is then the question is, will the first volume be 3
chapters? Over half the volume, so yeah.
I'm just thinking like it's gonna be 3 chapters and then Love Egoist, and then that's the volume.
Hold on.
You don't have to. Don't spoiler check. Don't spoiler this. We want to experience this as a family. Well, you can figure that out yourself in your own time. Let me wrap up the show here. Okay, so thank you so much. We'll see you next time for all that. If you are listening to this, make sure you can check out these live on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick at youtube.wolfborg.com, twitch.wolfborg.com, kick.wolfborg.com. You can go to wolfborg.com to find my links to all these things. Eventually, these episodes will all finally be done, edited, and up onto Spotify as well, so you can listen to those nicely onto there. And if you want to become a part of the book club, either just discussing it with us together or even joining us in the VC, if you have thoughts that you would like to convey, you can join the Discord channel at discord.wolfborg.com, grab yourself the Anime Book Club role, and you can come hang out with us here. So, thank you so much, everybody. As usual, let's see who we can raid this week. Who do we got here? I believe they should still be streaming, and if that is the case, we will be... Yes, they are. We are going to raid into Oboro Asano, friend of the channel, the Tanuki. I was hanging out on their stream last night as they added 100,000 eggs to a dish on a video game for their what was it? Shrimp ramen, which had no shrimp or ramen. It just had 100,000 eggs, which that's not the point of the game. Was not to sell ramen. This is just what we did, but we were yapping to it. It was fun. Anyways, go check out their stream. They're finally back from a hiatus from streaming, and they're playing something called Unpacking. Have a fun time.
Ooh,
tell Obobo I said hello. Yeah, thanks for hanging. We'll see you all next week. Bye bye, gamers. Bye bye.
Best stream.